we just kept seeing the numbers go up and up and up, and we're like, Richard's at like 5K. He's at like 15, 20.
And they see these videos that are gaining a lot of speed. YouTube goes, okay, I'll start just like the Veritasium video on the right-hand corner. It started just recommending it and suggesting it. 5% is godlike. This was a 13.8 click-through rate.
That's insane.
And I remember I was at the gym and my mom messaged me like 40 times in a row, like, hey, are you looking at Facebook? Are you checking this? Everything going on? I'm like, dude, I'm working out. Like, leave me alone. Quit texting me. She's like, no, you really need to look. And I like looked and it was like blowing the fuck up. And I was like, what the hell?
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 127 of the Andrew Deitsch podcast. I am back in the good old United States of America. Feels good to be back. I was gone for the last 3 weeks in a trip to Europe. I'm excited to be back in Atlanta to record some amazing episodes for you guys. But while I was gone, my team over at Eyes Ahead Media was hard at work uploading and editing some episodes we'd recorded before I left. And Eyes Ahead actually plays a very big role in this episode. If you don't know already, Eyes Ahead Media is a group of creative professionals who understand the value of exposure. And in today's social media landscape, eyeballs are the new currency. The more attention you have, the bigger impact you can make. And not only do they handle all of the production of my podcast, but we also handle all the video content for the Wheels2Walking YouTube channel and the Instagram page. And Eyes Ahead is amazing at getting massive exposure. So if you're interested in having your face or brand seen by millions of people around the world, visit eyesaheadmedia.com for more details. All right, so my guest today is my good friend Richard Corbett from Wheels2Walking. And today we are doing a swap cast. And if you don't already know, 9 years ago, Richard fell 50 feet and sustained a spinal cord injury. Doctors told him he would never walk again and he would need to use a wheelchair for the rest of his life. And recently, he founded Wheels2Walking, which is a platform designed to help newly injured wheelchair users regain their independence and quality of life. And some of you may know that I'm the co-host of the weekly Wheels2Walking podcast, which is behind a tiny little paywall on Patreon. You pay $1 a month and you get access to it. But today you're in for a treat because not only are we putting this episode up for free, but this episode is especially epic because since I've been gone overseas for the last 3 weeks and I'm finally back, but while I was gone, Richard's YouTube channel absolutely blew up, gaining thousands of subscribers per day. And as of this recording, he has over 34,000 subscribers on YouTube. And the last time he was on my show was back in February. He was just launching the channel and he only had like a couple hundred subscribers. So it's been so cool to be a part of the growth and all the massive stuff that's been happening. But on this episode, we talked all about how Richard hit the YouTube trending page and gained 30,000 subscribers in a matter of days. And we talked about my recent trip to Europe. So without any further ado, please welcome my friend and co-host, Richard Corbett. I've been gone for 3 weeks.
You've been gone for 3 weeks.
And in those 3 weeks, a lot of shit happened.
I've almost forgot how much has happened because it happened so fast.
Okay.
And my head is still spinning like in a...
Let's give people a little bit of context. So when I left, we were just chugging along, doing our normal Wheels2Walking stuff.
Yeah, show up, behave, get paid, consistent quality content, just engaging with...
Were you kind of like nervous about me leaving a little bit?
No, not really, because you'd left before. Like,
yeah, that's true.
When you went with your brother, like it was...
Yeah, when we went to Tomorrowland Winter.
Yeah, and when you went to Dubai and all that.
Yeah. So we were leaving, but we just had to like batch a bunch of content before. So
quick. Yeah, that week ahead of time, we were like, all right, we got to shoot 3 videos and make 4 podcasts. All right, go. And I'm like, my head is going to explode.
But we did it.
We knocked it out, yeah. Mm-hmm. Because that basically meant I had to stop doing everything else for that week. So, and then like all that had to catch up and it was crazy.
Yeah, but it was pretty rad because when you left, so I remember sitting, by the way, my brother got this awesome American Express card that gives us like all these perks now because I'm an authorized user on it.
Okay.
And he's just like, don't spend any money on it, motherfucker. Because I'm like an authorized user. But it gives us all these perks, and one of the perks is it gives us like lounge access at almost every airport. And
kind of like what we see Casey doing sometimes?
Exactly what Casey does. So there's showers in there. Like you can literally shower before your flight. There's free food, free drinks. It's free good Wi-Fi. Like it's amazing.
People leave you alone. There's couches. There's snacks.
Yeah, it's sick. It's awesome. and like it's honestly like we were like, dude, why didn't we do this like years ago? Literally, like it's ridiculous. But anyways. So I'm sitting in the lounge and I remember looking at like Social Blade and I'm looking at your YouTube channel and it had 2,500 subscribers. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Richard's had like 2,500 subscribers.
You left on a Thursday. Is that right? Or did you leave on a
Wednesday, I think.
On a Wednesday.
Maybe. I don't remember.
So the next day, I was on Randall's podcast. I was on
the
Late Night Startup. And then that Friday is when I hit 3,000.
Yeah.
So I basically picked up like 750 out of nowhere, which is crazy because on good days, I was hitting 200 a day.
200 subscribers?
Yeah, on good days.
On YouTube. Yeah.
And then, which is still insane because some people take a year to hit 1,000.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Easily a year to hit 1,000.
I think like Mind Pump has like 100 new subscribers a day, and they have like almost like 250,000, or they have, I don't remember how many they have, but I remember seeing that they,
checked, it was like 300.
Yeah. So they're gaining like 100 subscribers a day, and they have like a massive podcast, and like massive, channel.
It was wild. I remember that was one of the things that when we were in the studio, he was looking up some of my stuff like on the podcast. Mm-hmm. He was like, okay, you're at 2.7K, like doing good, like growing really nice. And then he like refreshed the page and it like went up. And he's like, wait a minute, just a second ago, this was at something else. Like even like live. And I'm like, yeah, there's some crazy growth on the way. Like, I don't know what's happening, but whatever's happening, it's happening. And
yeah,
we'll see.
No, I remember in the midst of it, I would refresh it and then I would refresh it like 5 minutes later and it would go up by like 100.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah, I remember I did that one time for like a couple of minutes. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like refresh. Okay, there's 200. Refresh. Okay, there's 400. Refresh. Okay, 300. Refresh. 150. What is happening? Like
it was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
So basically, over the course of the 3 weeks, you gained over 30,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I've got 34,000 right
now. Yeah, exactly. So it's like
which in the world of any social media, that is a huge jump, but specifically in the world of YouTube, that is gigantic.
Well, not only that, you got over like, I think before we left, you were less than 1 million views on YouTube, like total views.
I have 300 plus million now.
300 plus million minutes.
No views.
No, channel on like your channel, it says like the views, it's at like 3 million. Like if you add up all the views,
that's what
total.
I'm saying. Yeah. So it was
3 million, not 300 million.
Oh, did I say 300 million?
Yeah, I was like, that's not true at all. I was like, hey, slow your roll there, Richard.
Oops.
But anyway, either way, 300 million, 3 million, same thing. But
not the same thing.
Not the same thing at all. A lot more money. Dude, imagine if you had 300 million views in 3 weeks. Dude, Adsense would be off the charts. Anyways, doesn't matter.
I was, for a couple of days there, I forget what days, but it was like 3 or 4 days, I was getting an average of 500,000 views a day.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like if you looked at at your Social Blade, it was like before we left, you were getting, a few thousand views a day. And then it got to like
5,000 a week.
Yeah.
Combined all of my videos put together.
You're getting 5,000 views a week.
And that was a good week.
And then like barely. A couple weeks later, you were getting 500,000 views a day.
Yeah.
Like it was nutty.
So
I'm overseas. I'm in like Belgium, and I'm just like I'm looking at how the new video is doing because we launched a video the day that I left and stuff. It was Carlos's video, right?
Which right now is 125,000.
Yeah,
it's still growing as if it's brand new.
It's going crazy.
It has
which is
momentum.
Oh, I remember too because I remember I was finishing it up, and I think I had already fully. Had I finished it and delivered it? I can't remember. Either way, it was already given to you, and I was in like Amsterdam or something.
And you were messaging Carlos.
And I was messaging back and forth with Carlos. I was like, hey, by the way, brother, here's the video. It's about to go up today. And he messaged back, and he was like, hey, man, like the promo that you sent me was awesome because the promo was all just like badass B-roll epicness. And then the video, it was
like a Drake music video, dude. It was sick.
Yeah, it was sick. Like it was totally Carlos. It was totally Kyle. Remember that? Totally Kyle? That was from the Amanda Show or something like that?
I don't remember, but some like all that era of Nickelodeon.
Yeah. So anyways, it was totally Carlos style. And then the full video I sent to him, Yeah, sorry, AJ, you keep doing that with your beard, and I keep hearing it's distracting me.
It sounds like
it sounds like you're just stroking your beard.
Sorry, I saw you look over before, and I was like, well, what's the problem?
It's the new stupid headphones. No, it's all good. Anyways, so but I sent the full video to Carlos, and the first 7 minutes of it are
8 minutes 30 seconds.
Yeah, 8 minutes and 30 seconds are.
I know that because a ton of people were tagging it.
Yeah,
and a lot of people were even like, if you skipped, go back. There was a lot of people that were like, no, go back.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you skipped forward 8 minutes, basically the whole first part was an interview with you and Carlos talking about stuff, and then the end of it was all the exciting stuff. We rode jet ski, you rode a four-wheeler.
Showed off his car.
Showed off his hand controls and his sweet turbocharged BRZ. It was cool. It was epic, and we had drone shots and all that kind of stuff, but the beginning was very... not dry at all, but it was just it wasn't as flashy. It was more educational, straightforward content versus badass stuff.
Well, but that's what Wheels2Walking videos are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's educational and entertaining content. It's made for both newly injured wheelchair users, people that have been injured for a long time, people that have never been injured, and even able-bodied folks. It's literally for everyone. And I think he might have thought it was just going to be a big montage the whole time.
Yeah, probably. And looking back on it, I think the best style of video would have been to try to interlace some of the talking points in with the badass stuff. But the way we initially shot it...
I agree with that. Moving forward, that we'll have to be more mindful of that.
Yeah, but the thing is that's hard is especially with, for example, Carlos, he wasn't, trained on camera necessarily. So it was kind of hard to get him on a roll, and I would hate to be okay, stop talking for a second, segue. It just doesn't feel natural. It's kind of like when you interrupt a podcast or something, it just throws off the flow totally.
Yeah, but
so I'd rather just let you guys go and get into some hard stuff. Especially when you guys were talking about drugs and stuff, it's okay guys, hey, can you cut this conversation for a second? I kind of want you to pivot. I'm imagining in my head, we're gonna, it just didn't really feel the right way to do it.
Makes sense. But I think there's gonna be videos in the future.
We also had the talking part where he showed his crash bike.
Yeah, that
was cool.
I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes work. That's heavy. But one of the videos that I have planned for us is someone who also has a YouTube channel who's trained on camera enough to where we can easily do it to where it's we do an activity and then we stop and then we talk and then we do an activity and we stop and we talk and then it'll be more along those lines because this style format came out of necessity with Lunch Money. Complete stranger we met on Instagram. And then we show up to his house, and it's hey, dude, let's go do a video together and drive in your car. And
honestly, it's kind of an icebreaker.
It's who are you? Sit down and talk to me. I saw you stand up and get out of the truck. That's suspicious to me. You get it. There's a lot of the hell's going on here? I think.
Yeah, because even wheelchair users sometimes are weirded by incomplete stuff, or you can walk but you're still using a chair, and I'm complete, I can't get out of my chair. What the fuck? They're kind of confused as well.
I mean, rightfully so. I shock them real hard because I don't know if they're expecting that or not.
Yeah, and they're this dude seems pretty normal. That's the biggest thing that people always say to you. I feel is they're you seem perfectly fine. Why are you using that chair? You look amazing, bro. Blah blah blah. And it's
thanks, but I still got to use this to roll around.
Yeah, it's it wasn't easy to get to this point. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of hard work, and I used to be fat. Hey, don't forget, I worked really hard to get here, and used to be fat. I can show you the pics.
And also, one thing that people don't understand is preservation. Mm-hmm. I want to stay here for a long time too.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to push my body to the point where it breaks.
Yeah, I saw a comment. I want to get back to the Carlos video, but I saw a comment where someone suggested they're what if you had some sort of brace that could basically do what your leg does when you hyperextend it, locks into place, and then when you as soon as you kind of move it back, it would almost spring it forward, kind of simulating what you already do with your hyperextended knee, but not putting the wear and tear on your knee.
So yes, braces like that do exist. The only challenge is
having to wear it all the time.
putting it on and wearing it all the time. It breaks down skin because it's constantly putting pressure on your skin, and it's close to impossible to sit in your wheelchair with the big brace on. So yeah, I could definitely do it. There's one particular brace that I'm the most interested in, but it's hundreds of thousands of dollars because it's basically, you know, the
Sponsor?
maybe. You know those like exoskeletons?
Yeah.
It's just the
knee.
Just the leg and the knee. And it's basically for people just like me that have like drop foot and that people have like knee hyperextension.
Is there an implant you could get? I guess when your knee blows out, that would probably be when you would go to that point.
Yeah, I'll get surgery when I need it.
When you need it?
No, like it'll happen. Like I'm not dumb. And it's like people are like, if I could walk like that, I'd walk around everywhere. And it's like, no, you wouldn't. Because your ankles are going to hurt, your feet are going to hurt, your hips are going to hurt, your knees are going to hurt. You won't be able to do anything the next day. You're going to be laying in bed in pain, sore all the time. It's like, no, you wouldn't. Like,
yeah.
It's really inefficient. It's really slow. And it's like, I want to be able to stand up to brush my teeth and wash my face. I want to be able to stand up and cook in my kitchen. I want to be able to stand up to be able to get my chair in and out of my truck. Like, those are actually the things I care about, not actually, like, cruising around the neighborhood, because that's stupid. It literally fucking hurts so bad.
Yeah.
You know, that's a video I have planned where I'm going to, like, totally
debunk all those people.
Well, I'm gonna make a lot of people mad, but that's fine because like I saw a lot of the theme of the comments of just people just not understanding. But then the people that were understanding were the ones that were cheering me on, like, oh my gosh, I've been trying to explain this to people for everybody, you know. And it's like I want to do just some simple basic tasks like on my crutch and then like in the chair and just show how much better and so much easier it is. And I think it'd be cool to put some like fun little like video game style animations where it's like pain life, and it so it starts like chipping away down.
Yeah.
And it's like energy levels, and it's like depleting. And
Yeah.
And it's like speed,
stamina.
You know, like just make it seem really fun.
That would be really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, but so basically to go back to Carlos's video, so Carlos responded back and he was like, yo, not gonna lie, this video is boring as shit, or something like that.
I don't remember
And
exactly
I
what he
remember
said.
being like, oh. Like, I remember kind of thinking, like, damn it. Because that's what we honestly thought. Like,
we both knew it.
We both were like.
That's why we put the disclaimer built into the video. I'm like, this is kind of boring, but like, it's really important.
Yeah, it's not boring. It's just not
engaging.
It's not. The clickbait that you got to the video for is not what's happening in the first 8 minutes and 30 seconds. So we're worried about retention. Because that's what would happen. That's what happened in the lunch money video.
Yeah.
Like, you can see on YouTube, like, all the people skip the talking part and then just skip right to the like cool part. And that's what I didn't want to happen. But it's kind of like, okay, for the people that are going to skip, they're going to skip regardless. So we might as well give them a timestamp. Like, literally, hey, if you want to skip this, go to minute 8:30, but you're just know that you're missing like some really good stuff. And that's cool that people commented like down below, like, yo, actually go back if you skipped, because it was really good.
Was the Carlos video done before or after the Chicago video?
After. It was
Okay.
after.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I could look, but I just already forgot. The Chicago video went well because it was a really good video, but then it also got a lot of press. Thanks to Lisa. She definitely like.
Yeah, it was the Chicago video, Carlos, Wings for Life World Run, Crippled Crib, and the one from today, Parking Lot Safety. It's funny that like this is some super behind the scenes Cripple Crib. That was literally what I named it. It was a Cribs video.
That's what it was on my Trello too.
That was what it was in my
Cripple
file.
Cribs.
That was in my file names organization. It was called Cripple Crib. I was thinking about actually putting that in the thing, but I'm like, nah. It's just gonna get people pissed off.
Yeah.
Honestly, the right people to piss them off, the right people that are the people that are gonna get pissed off are the people that are like, they're gonna get pissed off at anything, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about that subject on my Instagram once.
Yeah.
And that put comments. Let me tell you about comments. But half of them were...
Because you were like, is crippled the same as the N-word? And it's like, if there's one word that you can say and one word that you literally can't say, the one that you can't say is obviously worse.
And that was and that was like my point, because I had seen some people online arguing that like cripple was just the same as calling the N-word, and I was like, no, it's not. I'm like, cripple doesn't really have like a big history.
You don't say the C word.
I was like, it's not like a big history behind it, and they're like, yeah, there's a huge history about this and this and that, and like they schooled me pretty well, but in my head I'm like, nah, it's just not.
It's the same. Still not. It's like it's not like wheelchair people were ever like freaking. Put in concentration camps or freaking enslaved or something. It's like they were definitely disenfranchised.
There were some pretty horrible things that did happen to persons with disabilities.
Oh, for sure. Especially like little people and stuff like that, like in circuses and all kinds of stuff. Like, yeah, definitely some inhumane shit. But like, hey, guess what? Like, none of the people that are alive right now did any of that. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing with, but at the same time, cripple, not a cool word. I wouldn't like call anyone that out of spite, but in its own, it's kind of like black people, they can say the N-word to each other. Well, I think wheelchair people could say the C word to each other.
That's the big theme that came out of it in context, right? There was the people that said, yes, it is. There was the people that said, no, it's not. And then there were the people that said, context matters. You can say whatever you want.
True.
Context matters.
True. It's like when you're reading To Kill a Mockingbird and you read the N-word aloud in class, like no one freaks out about it. Like you're just reading the book.
Context,
exactly.
Like it's the idea of like, if I'm hanging out with me and my friends and like I've got a group chat on Instagram called The Crips. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I mean like my girlfriend will be like, come on, Gimpy, let's go. Like whenever we gotta go somewhere. Like that's.
And we always say Cripple Kid VIP.
Cripple Kid VIP. It is what it is. But it's like, if someone were to like come up in the street and be like, watch where you're going, cripple, I'd be like, oh, you want to fight? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, it's kind of like girls can be like, oh, what's up, bitch? But like if they're like, what's up, bitch? Yeah, it's a totally different meaning. Yeah. So it's like the word isn't the thing, it's the context and the intent.
Yeah, context and intent are big things that definitely do matter for sure.
Yeah. And that's what's kind of hard to convey over a comment, If someone commented cripple and you don't know them, it's kind of like, okay, who are you?
Exactly.
It's like not cool. But if I commented something like that, like you would probably like laugh because you know that my intent is not to be mean.
It's to make me laugh, yeah.
Yeah, is to like get a rise out of you or whatever. I'm just fucking with you. But like, or to get other people. You know what's funny? I always wonder if people know, like when I comment on your Instagram and stuff, some people know me because they listen to the podcast or whatever.
But some people don't.
But some people have no idea.
I'm like, who's this AD podcast guy and why is he talking shit?
Yeah, or whatever, I normally don't really say that much crazy stuff. What's another thing that I found kind of interesting too? Like in the beginning of Wheels2Walking stuff, I would always like really intentionally comment on things because like, helping each other like engage. And then like in recent stuff, I've been like, dude, like there's so many comments already that Richard can't even get to, like that are real.
It's not needed anymore.
I don't need to like say like, yes, I agree with this caption. Like, what I mean? Like, no lie, just adding to the noise.
Sometimes I'd be sitting right here next to you. I'm like, boom, just posted. You're like, all right, I'm gonna go comment on it real fast. And you pull it out and be like, and then you put it back. And I'd be like,
and it's like a video that I made.
Nice.
Yeah, it's literally like a micro content that I edited, and it's like, dude, this is dope. What's funny?
But Instagram is a game, dude. That's the
game.
Fucked up part about Instagram. It's literally it's such a game, and I'm so glad that finally YouTube has taken over, so I can stop playing the game of Instagram.
Yeah.
Where like, all right, Instagram game. This is what you got to do. You got to get a cool fucking photo, and it's got to be so unique that no one's ever seen it before, and you got to make sure it fits in the thumbnail just perfectly, so if it ends up on the Discover feed, okay, now I got to think of a really cool, interesting topic. Now I got to write a whole fucking paragraph about it, and then after I write a whole paragraph about it, that takes about an hour and a half, not including the actual photo shoot that I went on, which also took 4 hours. All right, so I've invested, fucking 2.5 hours into this. All right, Now I got to hit post. All right, for the next 1 hour, I've got to be down here at the bottom, just replying to everybody's comments. Even if it's nonsense, I just got to fucking reply because Instagram likes it when you reply. So let me just Now I'm like, man, fuck this shit, dude. Like, yeah, like I'll post if something is actually worth replying to in the first hour. I'll reply.
Yeah, or if they're asking a question or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm not deep in. I haven't been able to write a caption to save my life in since you've been gone. Like I can't write a caption.
Since you've been gone, I can't write. Anyways.
Yeah, and then now it's like on YouTube you get 24 hours to engage. So that's cool because
Also, these are all like unspoken rules. Like
no, that's algorithm.
Yeah, I know, but it's not like Instagram has ever straight up come out and said that shit, but like people just know.
Right.
Like it's not like like if you go to like Instagram frequently asked questions, they'll be like, you have 1 hour and we'll boost your post if you comment back to everything. But it's just like over trial and error, and people that are just like Instagram gods, they just know that when you engage, Instagram likes that shit, and they'll promote you to more people. They'll send, and it makes total logical sense. I don't doubt any of that. I know that I know it, that they definitely do that, and it's a combination of things. But like on YouTube, do they say anything about the 24 hours, or is it the same kind of thing where people just say it?
It's 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing where in 24 hours I scroll to the very first comment, and then I go up from the first, and if something is actually worth replying to, I'll reply to it. Before, I would reply to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, someone would be like, neat, with a thumbs up, and I'd be like, wow, thank you so much for spreading the love. This is a really neat post. You're great. Talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just, like, people would hit you with emojis, and you just reply with emojis back, and then be like, those are some neat emojis. I think those are cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Like just anything to game the system. Like, and I hate that about Instagram so much. It's like, you got to game it. And then like Facebook, I just gave up on because my audience on Facebook is older women, like 70% women over 50.
Yeah, but that's like Facebook in general these days.
I mean, that's Facebook moms, so to speak, and Facebook moms, quote unquote, really like to share my stuff, which I love that. That's great. But I have a really hard time replying to some of their stuff because I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah. I'd say leave it alone. That's kind of like Joe Rogan talked about that recently.
Yeah.
He's like, my Facebook is a shit show. Like, I just use it as like a platform to blast stuff out, but like, I don't do anything on there. Mm-hmm. And I would agree with that. I feel like groups are the only reason why I stay on Facebook these days.
I've recently got into a bunch of groups. 2 I really only care about. One is a spinal cord injury group, and another one is a YouTube group, basically.
Oh, nice.
It's a Video Ranking Academy. It's basically all the people that went through the same training that we went through.
Has anyone like from that noticed you? Like, have they like noticed that your shit's popping off?
No, because I just don't care about that notoriety or whatever.
No, I don't think so. But I was curious if like they ever ask things in there, and then they're like, "Holy shit! I remember you when you first joined, and now you're here. What the fuck?"
I'm in that group to give a lot of advice, and I'm also there to like see what type of questions people are asking. I'm confused, and then also like the type of stuff they celebrate. Like, yay! I just got my first 1,000 hours. It's only been 4 months, and it's like, after 12 months, I just hit 1,000 subscribers, and I'm like, yo, I'm grateful. Like, I'm grateful.
Should be.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. It's like you have gotten a lot in a very short amount of time, and a lot of people work for literally years on YouTube and don't see but near your amount of like success already, which is crazy.
Insane. But the reason why is strategy.
Totally, 100%. And hyper niche. Like, you are hyper niche.
That's a part of the strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
And even the thing is, like, when you and I first met, we bonded over like the same YouTubers we liked to watch. Mm-hmm. We've been consuming YouTube as our main source of TV for years.
Yeah.
So we know a lot about the industry. We understand how it works.
Yeah.
Same thing with Instagram. True. Same thing with any type of marketing. Like, we weren't doing any of it, but we're so closely paying attention to it that we just kind of like figured it out.
Yeah, that was kind of like me with video editing. Like, I just like understood it all, but just didn't really like have the software, like know how to do it.
It's like, what looks good.
But then as soon as I picked it up, it's kind of like as soon as I spoke the language, I was able to like talk with people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I feel the same way. So a lot of the like administrative, like back end, behind the scenes stuff that happens at Wheels2Walking was. And I'm learning every day. I'm going insane because I'm like, I gotta learn how to do this now.
Guess I gotta learn today.
It's the same idea. It's like, oh, this is not hard. I just need to know the language. Like that, like contract writing with sponsorship collaborations and deals. Like I don't know how to do this, but then I like did some research and like someone sent me a template and I like looked it over and I'm like, I know what these words mean, I'm like, and I can just like tippity type away and like make things happen and. It's...
You said tippity type in the Cribs video, too. That's a funny one. Tippity type. I like that.
And I think it's the same idea. It's like, although I've never been, like, an entrepreneur before, although I've never owned a business before, although I've never done any of this before, like...
You were an artist, though.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You were kind of doing, like, selling art is, like, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's yes, but different. Much different. This is very much, like... super hyper strategy.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing it. Is we definitely got this good recipe where even from the beginning that we weren't like we wanted to show up on the scene looking like we'd already been on the scene.
Oh yeah.
And that's exactly what we did because there's been plenty of people that have like messaged me or like wish I would have found you sooner and I'm like that wasn't possible. I wasn't here.
Wish I would have found you last year when I got injured. It's like,
dude, I wasn't here.
I had the baby metal video and that's it.
Yeah. And then like people that are like in the magazine that we got in.
Yeah. You talked about that on the last podcast, on the Wheels2Walking podcast. They were like, the lady was like confused that she hadn't heard about you. She's like, so how long have you guys been doing this?
Right.
And you're like 4 or 5 months. And she's like, oh. I thought you've been doing this for like years.
Yeah. She's like, I was really confused because my job is to write about people like you, so I know everybody.
Yeah.
And I, for some reason, didn't know you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how is that possible?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy how that happens. But the strategy has definitely played off well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so to go back again, so we're kind of like jumping around a lot, but basically, so we launched the Carlos video, and Carlos is kind of like, and we're like, oh, let's just see how it goes. And I'm like, dude.
Listen, he immediately changed his mind.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Has he been talking to you?
I just see the replies that he's leaving. Like,
oh, nice.
So
on YouTube or on Instagram or what?
On Instagram. So like so I put out the video on YouTube. I put out my Instagram teaser, and it blew.
Yeah,
it fucking popped so hard that like within a couple of hours he'd already posted his and then put the full video link
in his bio.
Yeah. And then like I've even messaged him and I'm like, hey dude, like check out those comments. Like people are really appreciating the fact that you were willing to open up and talk about stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that was probably his worry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he worried about people judging him or like because he kind of opened up.
Like public perception is everything.
Yeah.
Or the public eye or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but it was cool because like and at first it was like if he was just watching the video by himself, and then later, 125,000 views later and all these awesome comments and stuff, like I'm sure that he's not worried about like, oh, this video is boring. It's like, no, this video is awesome.
Alexis even reached out to me and was like, hey, people are messaging me about like asking me questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like, thanks,
That's
man.
cool.
He's like, thanks, man. I really apprate that.
That's sick.
Because then remember in the
yeah,
video,
he's like, you can ask me.
You can even ask me,
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
He edited it like 100 times.
I've watched that video like 100 times. Yeah. No, seriously, that's the funny thing is I've probably watched the videos more than anyone. But it makes sense. Like it's just how it goes.
Your editing process to just like rewatch the video a bunch of times?
Yeah. I literally talked about that on the last Wheels2Walking podcast because I listened to it last night. And I said, like, one of my superpowers, I think, is being able to take myself out of the, like, process and put myself in the shoes of, like, the newest person watching or whatever. Like, I'm always thinking about the context, of where is this going to go? Where is this who's going to watch this? Where is this going to live? How's it going to be perceived? All that kind of stuff. And, like, I was listening to this Gary Vee thing earlier, and he was talking about how, like, we have we feel entitled that just because we made something, we expect people to just watch it. Like, oh, I made this video, everyone. And it's like, hey, guess what? It sucks ass and no one cares. That's why no one's watching it.
Even if it's good, no one might care.
Yeah, exactly. And that's very true. Even if it's high quality, like production value wise, if the content doesn't resonate with people or it's already been done a million times and you're just like a copycat, like no one cares. It's like this video is just as good quality wise as like a Peter McKinnon video, but like it's exactly a copy of Peter McKinnon's video, so no one cares because there's already a Peter McKinnon. And that's what those guys always talk about on YouTube is you got to be yourself because there's already another guy.
There's already a me.
There's already a me, so you be a you.
And I remember Casey used to talk about that too. He's like, you got to be a you, don't be a me. He's like, you can use me for inspiration. He's like, but then you have to like change your style and grow out of it. He's like, and I think that was right around the time when like every vlogger in the world was doing like time lapses and listening to lo-fi music, and
every single person was doing that.
And everything was all the walk up shots and talk and then the walk away.
Yeah, lots of jump cuts and lots of third person shooting on a tripod type of deal. Yeah, he definitely, he didn't, that's the funny thing is he didn't invent that style, but he just popularized it like crazy, you know?
Well, he'd been doing it since the Neistat brothers. Like his first HBO TV show
was like that.
Was a little handy cam like vlog, basically.
Yeah. And they're pretty trash, honestly. Like, I've gone back and watched them. I'm like, his vlogs are better than this, and this was on TV.
But 10 years earlier, so.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that is the interesting thing is, I think you in particular, you saw a niche that was there. Like, there was wheelchair videos, but like 99% of them are pretty garbage, like as far as quality goes.
No, not all are bad. Most are bad, production-wise.
Yeah, the education value on a lot of them is actually
so good, but it's hard to just sit there and listen to someone talk.
And just a video tip for anyone out there, audio will if you have good audio, that will make your videos seem 100 times more professional than upgrading your camera in any way ever will. Like if you have good audio and you're shooting on your iPhone, it's gonna be so much more professional than you sitting in an echoey room recording with the mic on your like expensive Canon, like the built-in mic.
You've said this before, and I agree with you. You can people tend to be able to forgive bad quality video, but no one can forgive bad audio.
Because you can't turn it, like you can close your eyes, you can look away from a bad video, but you can't turn off your ears. You always have your ears. Same, yeah. It's an interesting like point of reference, but it's so true. Like. Because a lot of times people watch videos while they're doing other things. I mean, me and you do that all the time.
Well, I mean, I've even...
While cooking or whatever. It's like,
I mean, I've
you're doing other stuff.
Tried to consume videos where I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to watch this. And then it's literally sounds like they're in a fucking metal room. And I'm like, I can't listen to this, bye.
I was going to say, remember that one podcast? I think all of us know what we're talking about. We said, this podcast sounds bad. I know it. I can tell by the picture. Because they were recording in like a kitchen with like a mic far away. And it was just like, ooh, yeah, no, sorry. And it's like, it's like, I feel bad, but it's like...
I've seen an interview. So one time, I remember I was in this room. I had a meeting with someone in this room, and I remember thinking, like, it was. I was sitting here, they were sitting here, another person was sitting here, and I remember talking to them and being like, dude, I can barely even hear them. Like, it's so echoey. Like, oh, this is terrible. And then later I saw that same person do an interview with someone else in that same room. And I was like, ha ha ha. I was like, no.
Oh, no. BitConnect. Yeah, that's so bad. Dude, it was funny. My friend Cam that was on my podcast a couple days ago, or a couple episodes ago, he posted in a Facebook group. I showed you this, right?
Yeah.
And he does Skype interviews, which I am not a big fan of. And he's like, LOL, this guy did a Skype interview with me for my podcast while sitting on his couch on his phone. Like he was literally just Skyping on his phone, on his couch, like laying down. And someone else commented underneath, it was like, yeah, he's notorious for like having some kind of bad podcasts. And my friend, and Cam comments underneath, yeah, add me to that list.
Because I've heard some. And
I'm like, damn. But you know, whatever, to each his own.
Yeah, but there's definitely a mix. You know, like,
dude, that's why I love doing the in person because I control all of the quality. You know, because when you do the Skype stuff, it's like hope they're not recording in an echo chamber. Hope they're not recording on their fucking Mac speaker, you know, like hopefully they have some sort of external microphone and they're in. Dude, you know what was the funniest thing? I saw a video podcast one time and the guy had his MacBook like as far away on the table as he could and he had a Yeti mic, but the Yeti mic was as far as his computer was. So like he had a microphone, but he wasn't directly talking into it. It was like far away and it was in the shot. And I'm just like,
Well, it's kind of
defeating
like,
the
like
purpose.
that one person we saw put a task cam on a table.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. And that was their whole podcast. It's trash. Dude, that's the thing, man. It's like my setup literally costs less than $200 for this audio setup, and I've recorded over 120 something episodes. Granted, I've had to buy new microphones because they've broken, but that's what I get for buying cheap microphones. But hopefully we're gonna be upgrading the audio setup pretty soon, so it'll be better. But the thing is like people are like, oh, I don't have the money to set up a podcast. It's like, okay, don't go the iPhone route and talk into your iPhone and put your iPhone on a table and try to record a podcast that way. Shell out maybe $150 and invest in something better than nothing, you know? But you also don't have to go out and buy a $2,000 setup and make it sound like you're fucking on the radio. Like, it doesn't need to be that crazy. You don't need to get that insane with it. You can make good quality. The main thing is a soundproof room that's not going to be echoey. That's 99% of the battle right there. Because you could have great mics, but if you're in a terrible environment, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that's just some tips for people. But I think it's valuable because, I mean, even for people that are just doing like Skype interviews for a job interview or something, it's like, yo, that shit matters. Like, you know, you don't want to sound like a dweeb.
Or a robot.
Yeah. But anyways, so from my perspective on this trip, I'm just like watching all these numbers just climb like crazy.
So we're back in the Sky Lounge right now.
Well, that was in the Sky Lounge at the very beginning. Okay. And you were at like 2.5K, and I'm like, oh, the video is doing good or something. Or no, it hadn't even launched yet because I think I left on a Monday or something. But I sent it to you already, I think.
The Expo video was doing good.
The Expo video was doing good, yeah. And we were like, oh, cool, awesome. And Carlos's video was like on the way. I think I uploaded it to you, like when I got to my hotel in like Amsterdam or something. And that's when I sent it to Carlos, and he's like, oh yeah, and he was like, yo, do you think we could change the video? And me and you were like, nah.
Literally not possible.
Like, nope, launching today. So anyways, the video was done. It was cool.
He asked that at like 3 o'clock and we're launching at 6. It's like, dude, that's literally not
It's like
possible.
the video's been live on Patreon for 2 days. Like
yeah.
like people have already watched it. Like, we're not changing it now. So anyways, that happened. And then basically after that video, you know, me and my brother were doing our thing, traveling around, and we just kept seeing the numbers go up and up and up, and we're like, whoa, Richard's at like 5K. He was at 2.5 like the other day. Like, what the heck's going on? Holy shit, Richard's at 10K. Like, what? Like, holy shit, Richard's at like 15, 20. Like, there was one day where you, I think, got like 4,000 subs in one day.
Sounds right. Yeah.
It was like 3.9 in one day. So we figured out later. So what was happening was the Expo video went pretty crazy, and that was getting a ton of views.
I think what helped it was
Lisa blasted it.
The backlinking.
Oh yeah.
Because it was
getting backlinked on a bunch of websites.
It was embedded in websites, and that's a signal to YouTube that says this is an important video. So then it starts suggesting it more.
Yeah, so it started suggesting it more, which led to more traffic to your channel. But then people were going back and watching the original video that we launched with 5 months ago.
I think
that was called.
I think it was a sidebar recommendation.
Probably.
Like at first it was a sidebar recommendation.
Yeah, and it's why do I use a wheelchair if I can walk? And that video currently has 1.6 million views.
Well, what popped first was the flying video.
Oh yeah, that's what was happening. We had the video where you flew, how to fly in an airplane, and that had like a quarter. That got like a quarter of a million.
So it's at 300 plus now.
Wow.
Maybe
nuts.
Maybe even 400. But
nuts.
The flying video hit first, and it was very much like a lot of people were like, I don't use a wheelchair. Why am I watching this? And
it's like, why am I watching this at 3 a.m.?
I'm afraid of flying. Why am I watching this? You know, like,
yeah.
But a lot of people really liked that video because it was really valuable. I mean, if you remember when we first made it, I was like, this one's gonna go big.
And it did.
because it's so important.
And it did go, quote unquote, big when we launched it. We were like, whoa, got 5,000 views in a week.
Yeah.
It's funny because when we first launched the why do I use a wheelchair if I can walk video, it popped on Facebook pretty crazy, and that got
440,000 on
440,000 views, and we were pretty stoked on that.
Majorly stoked.
Majorly stoked. Like,
Yeah.
that was insane.
That was a big deal, man.
Yeah, and I think I remember in the beginning we were stoked that it had like 40,000. We were like, whoa, 40,000. And then like that one page shared it and it gained like hundreds.
I think it had like 4,000, and then because we launched it on a Wednesday, and then nothing happened until Friday. And I remember I was at the gym and my mom messaged me like 40 times in a row. I was like, hey, are you looking at Facebook? Are you checking this? Everything going on? What's happening right now? You should check your Facebook. I'm like, dude, I'm working out. Like, leave me alone. Quit texting me. She's like, no, you really need to look. And I like looked, and it was like blowing the fuck up. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some page with like Spina Bifida shared it.
Yeah.
But
it's actually my sister's dentist's
cousins twice removed.
No, his kid.
Oh, nice.
Her chiropractor's kid.
I see.
His name's Roman.
Yeah. The page is like Roman's Journey or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so that's when that popped originally. And so yeah, over the course of these 3 weeks, that same video 5 months later actually trended on YouTube.
For 2 days.
Do you know how high it got on trending?
I have no idea. I didn't even know it got into trending until it stopped. I noticed like the numbers dropping off, and then someone left a comment that was like, oh, come on, YouTube, only 2 days. This video is the most 2013 video in the best way that I've ever seen in my entire life. This is educational. It needs to be on the front page. It needs to be on the front page longer than that. Come on. Like, they were like mad at YouTube.
But see, I thought those were all being hypothetical when I saw those comments rolling in about trending. They're like, this is the stuff that belongs on the trending page.
No, like,
And I thought it was like, yeah, you're right, it does belong on the trending page.
No,
but people were like,
from-
it was on the trending
was
page,
from-
and they were
yeah.
like, yo, I'm stoked that this was on the trending page.
Yeah.
And for people that don't know YouTube lingo, the trending page is literally
The top 100?
It's the, I think, top 100 videos, but it's literally a separate tab on YouTube. You can go to trending and it'll show you the top trending videos. It's not recommended for you. It's not like tailored specifically for you. It's just
everybody sees the same
Everyone
trending.
sees the same thing, but it's by country. So if you're
Every
in
country.
USA, you'll see the USA trending. If you're in India, you'll see India's trending. So like it
Yeah.
was for USA probably,
those-
but maybe even Canada, maybe even somewhere
So
else.
the days that I was getting, what was happening was, this is what was happening is people were watching my airplane video and leaving a thumb or a like or a comment. So YouTube was like, cool, let's keep suggesting that. And then on my end card or on my sidebar was, why do I walk if I use a wheelchair? They'd click on that, and the same thing would happen. They would like, they would comment, they would share, they would do all of the things that says, hey YouTube, this is a good video.
Exactly.
So they see these two videos.
Even though it's 5 months old.
Yeah, exactly. And they see these videos that are gaining a lot of speed, and then YouTube goes, okay, I'll start, just like the Veritasium video on the right-hand corner. It started just recommending it and suggesting it, and people were like, finally, YouTube gives me a good suggested video. Like, people were like, thank goodness. And then it hit trending because everyone was clicking. My click-through rate was 13.8.
Holy shit. So for people that don't know what that means, for every 100 people that saw the thumbnail and title anywhere on YouTube, 13.8 people out of those 100 were clicking on the video to watch it.
I don't know if that's how click-through rate works. That might be.
I'm pretty sure it's like for it because it's a percentage, 13.8%.
So let me.
Out of 100 people that saw it, 13.8 would click it.
Well, I'll put it into bigger context for you. 5% is godlike.
Yeah.
If you can make a video consistently stay
with
at
5% click-through rate.
Click-through rate, there's YouTube.
That's when it starts recommending it like
YouTube
crazy.
is going to suggest it everywhere. This was a 13.8 click-through rate.
That's insane.
Yeah. Which
That's
every time
insane.
it showed up on anyone's screen, someone says, gotta watch it, click.
Which is kind of crazy because that's how YouTube works these days. It's all about click-through rate and watch time.
It's like 98.6% recommended by YouTube views.
Yeah, so like 98% of the views were coming directly from YouTube.
Well, YouTube showing it to people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were sharing it and people were sharing it in the emails or Facebook or anything. It was literally YouTube was
YouTube says, I want to keep people on my platform longer. I want to show them more ads. What's interesting things that I can show them? here.
Yep, exactly. And what's being monetized. And we turned on monetization, which is cool. Because before this, you had no ads on your videos. You weren't turning on monetization at all.
I was holding out for sponsorship because that's still what I really care about. But you made a good point. That was like, dude, it's money on the table. Just turn the freaking ads on.
Yeah, and people are used to seeing ads. Like, if they're on YouTube at all.
And there's they're limited ads. I don't have the pop-ups. I don't have the cards. I just have an ad at the beginning, somewhere in the middle, and then,
you know what's funny?
And then at the end, if someone wants to like actually keep watching towards the end.
Yeah. You know what's funny is, so I'm logged in as you on my computer so I can upload, but I always just switch back to my account. And sometimes I'll like watch videos on your channel on accident.
Yes.
And I'll get ads, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I get so mad because I have YouTube Premium. So I pay $10 a month to not watch any ads on YouTube, and I get viscerally angry.
Do you manage a team? How about Monday.com?
Dude, literally, I see the ad, and I immediately, instead of just sticking it out, switch to my account so I don't have to watch the ad.
I would too. I hate ads. I can't.
Yeah. Even if the skip button's like almost there,
That's
I'm like,
my thing,
no,
is, like,
no.
I have such a bad taste in my mouth for ads. I cannot. I do not like ads. But you know what's recently changed my mind, and this is gonna sound so silly. I was over at Julia's, and we were watching Family Guy on Hulu. She pays for Hulu. They still serve her ads.
Yep.
Every 7 minutes, she gets 6 to 8 ads that you cannot skip through. They're 30 seconds long.
Sometimes they go a minute.
I'd blow my brains out.
Literally, I get so mad and start pacing around. I'm like, no, we can't watch this anymore. I'm like, we gotta stop. She's like, just relax.
Jeez.
And I'm like, okay, fine. Then my 3 ads on my YouTube video are not a big deal then, fine.
No. Yeah, that's the thing, man, is we listen to a lot of stuff where you can skip the ads. I mean, I'll be honest, on a lot of podcasts, I skip the ads. People in the podcast world, they're like, dude, I got bad ad karma. Like, they'll talk about, like, they're like, well, I don't want people to skip ads on my podcast, so I listen to all the ads on other people's podcasts. It's funny. I'm kind of like, yeah, that's not really how it works, but okay. Like,
They just look at downloads, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. But actually, you know what's kind of crazy is, like, certain platforms are now doing dynamic ads on podcasts. Where, like, for example, if you live in Florida, I can serve you, like, Florida-based ads or, like, contextually dynamic ads because, like, for example, on Spotify, you're streaming the podcast rather than downloading it, so they can just, like, insert an ad.
Oh, I get it. Okay. But not,
you got to sign up for that.
Not red ads.
Yeah, they're not going to be read by you, but they're ads that are placed based on where you're at. And it's kind of crazy because I think also there's certain platforms now that can do it based on like where your IP address is, even if it's not on Spotify or something. So when you stream that specific podcast, it inserts a dynamic ad versus just the normal ad reads or whatever, which is kind of crazy. It's based on like your IP address or something.
I mean, that's how ads work usually.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. That,
I like that.
Because also what that means is normally on a podcast, that ad is tied to that episode forever, and it might be irrelevant later on. But what that means is they can backlog stuff and make ads relevant all the time, even if it's an old episode.
Would you get paid the same?
I think. I don't know. I'm not in that world as far as that. I'm not that crazy
that's
on
how
it.
I think about it. Like, for example, here's the, like, Adsense is like the lamest money in the sense that you get the least bang for your buck compared to sponsorship deals, compared to merchandise, compared to products.
If you're on Google Preferred, though, you might have stupid AdSense. Like, we don't know. Because like, if you're on Google Preferred, what that does is they lump you into a group of players. So, for example, The Late Night Show, Trevor Noah, like Seth Meyers, Jimmy Kimmel, they're all a part of a Google Preferred group, and like someone like Chevy can be like, yeah, we want to buy the spots on every single one of those things because the demographic of people that are watching their shows, like they're in the market to buy a car or whatever, and YouTube knows that, and so they lump you into like a network almost. For example, another one is like Rhett and Link. They're part of Google Preferred. The Dude Perfect. the slow-mo guys, like all the Liza Koshy.
Is
like
what about like Pewdie and like Jake?
PewDiePie is not in Google Preferred. Jake Paul's not in Google Preferred. Logan Paul's not Google Preferred. You can literally go on YouTube and see who is in Google Preferred. Like it's a public list because brands will go in and be like, yes, we want to place ads on Google Preferred, and it's almost a way to test the waters with big brands. Like for example, let's say freaking Nike had never done YouTube ads before, and they're like, I don't know, we're just gonna put our ads on like random videos, and YouTube is like, we've got a grouping of our best creators that have the best, they've got really good watch time, and they've got really loyal creators and really loyal audiences, and they have really high engagement rates and all this stuff. Like, we can put you only on our preferred area. It's gonna cost you a little bit more, but we can guarantee results. And so because YouTube is getting paid more because they're hand selecting these creators, these brands are shelling out more because they're only being placed on these specific things. That's why when, like, for example, like Jimmy Kimmel had a video on like a shooting, and it was still monetized, but YouTube was demonetizing all the other shooting videos. Like Philip DeFranco's shooting video was demonetized, but he's like, yo, what the fuck? Like they went on record saying that they were gonna demonetize all these shooting videos, but here's Jimmy Kimmel, YouTube's golden boy, who's still got GMC Denali videos rolling. Like what gives? And it's like, oh, well, he's part of Google Preferred, so it's like kinda not the same. And it's like, should be, So they treat it different. And because they're in this Google Preferred thing, they're getting paid more, which means the creators get paid more.
So they get a higher,
so they're getting stupid AdSense.
Higher CPM.
And that's why Logan Paul was like really mad when the whole Forest thing happened, because he was on Google Preferred, and then they took him off, and now he's no longer. So that means his AdSense went like way down. Sorry, I just spit.
Either way, that's why I was initially hesitant to put on ads in the beginning, because I was like, I don't want to fucking interrupt my content to nickel and dime it. But
yeah, exactly, because you're gonna make what, $5 before this whole thing happened. It was like, well, I can turn on ads and make 9 cents.
I mean, the peak gave me a little bit of money.
Yeah,
but
nice little chunk.
It was not. It's not going to be consistent. Like, that would be stupid to believe. Like, all right, cool. And now I can base everything on this 2-day event. Like,
yeah, but it was longer than 2 days. Like, it was like a pretty like decent like 5, 6, 7. I mean, it was happening while I was gone.
Yeah,
the last week of it was like kind of slowing down.
But what I mean, it's just like all the monetized views or whatever.
Yeah, because you you were getting 500,000 views a day.
And those 2 days, I had the AdSense turned on.
Yeah, exactly, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think.
I'm really glad I reminded you about that.
Yeah, you were like, hey, you turn ads on. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that.
I think it's time. If I was looking for a sign, I think this is the sign.
Yeah, I'm still looking really forward to the idea of because it's like, this is how AdSense works. These are all just made up numbers I'm making up in my head. So let's say 1 million channel views, 1 million monetized channel views.
Or video views?
No, like channel views, meaning
total across your whole video.
Total across gives you $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. I would rather get with a sponsor who's willing to pay $1,000 for one video.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
But the nice thing about ads is it's residual over time. Like, you think about someone like PewDiePie, he's got ads turned on. A lot of his videos are demonetized, but he's got a library of literally thousands of videos that people are consistently watching every single day. The guy has literally like billions of channel views, which is insane. Same with Dude Perfect. Dude Perfect. I can only imagine what their monthly checks are like.
Well, they also have like proper sponsor deals too. They'll be like,
oh yeah,
thanks to Ford and Ruffles chips, and I'm like,
thanks to the Super Bowl, thanks to NFL, like what?
And I'm like, what are you guys, NASCAR? Like
literally, bro.
Jesus, like,
dude, they've got.
It's because they did it right. They did strategy.
Oh yeah.
Like they're like think about how many people on YouTube did goofy ass stunt videos.
Oh yeah, trick shot videos. Lots of people.
And these guys have been doing it for how long now?
Yeah.
Consistently.
Also, how ridiculous. Those guys have been killing it too.
With a team. That's the Australian guys, right?
I've started to, like, I initially didn't like them, and now I watch all their videos. Like, I love them.
The one that I watched was when they dropped the bowling ball on the trampoline from, like,
the 45-meter tower.
50 kilometers.
50 kilometers?
50 meters.
Yeah, 45 meters.
45 meters.
Dude, my favorite is like all their like little slang that they use all the time, because Australians are so notorious for shortening words.
Yo,
like they're like, I want to have some brekkie. Like just say breakfast.
No,
but like they always
Australia is the most slang thing ever. Like I heard someone have a sentence that was like, "Hey, can you take me down to the gas station to pick up some cigarettes? I forgot my shoes at my house. Can I borrow your flip-flops?" And it was like,
you didn't even understand what they were saying.
I had no idea. It's like,
take me down to the petrol station.
hey, can you take me to the petty to the petty to get a bogey? I forgot my flippies. And you're like,
what? Like,
fuck.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. Dude, I met so many. I love Australians, bro.
The servo.
Like
a servo is gas station.
a servo. Wow.
Your servo.
And they were gonna buy ciggies, not cigarettes.
No, like burners. They called them burners or some shit like that.
Ciggies is Australian.
Take me to this servo and get some burners.
But maybe burners too. I don't know.
It was fucking
they all say ciggies though. They're like, can I bum a ciggy? And you're like, say cigarette. No, but it's funny. Like I love all their little weird slang. One of my Siggy is amazing. There's a YouTube channel. I don't remember the channel name, but they had a series called Derek and Damo, and it was these Australian rednecks. They're called bogans. That's what Australian rednecks are called. They're called bogans. And so it's basically a parody of these bogans, and they're animated, and they're like, Damo, you fucking cunt. Like, they're like, it's just so Australian. Like, hey, let me bum a ciggy, Damo. And he's like, Derek, you cunt, I'm not going to give you a ciggy. And like, hey, can I bum a lighter? Like, it's just so freaking ridiculous. You got to look it up, Derek and Damo. It's so funny. But it's funny. Whenever I meet Australians, though, they don't think we know their slang. So whenever I'm like, oh, are you a fucking bogan? And they're like, oh, you know what a bogan is? And I'm like, yeah, I know what a bogan is. Are you a freaking bogan? Or are you? And they're like, no, I'm not a bogan. What are you talking about?
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, but anyways, it's just funny because they always have slang and stuff. But in How Ridiculous, that channel, one of the funny things they always say instead of slow motion, they're like, oh, let's check the slow motion cam or whatever. They're always like, all right, roll the slowy. Like, it's just so funny to me because they just say it in the funniest ways.
Roll the slowy.
And they have all these. They have like a funny thing where they'll have a com test, which is a comment contest, where they're like, all right, this week's com test, what are we gonna name the new bowling ball or whatever? And they're like best comment, we'll pin ya, and that means they'll pin your comment to the top. And so they like people submit videos of themselves saying we'll pin ya, and they'll put those videos in.
I gotta think of something.
And so like there's just little things like that. As the more you watch their videos, you're like, oh, that's what that is. Okay, I got it. And then you look forward to it and stuff. It's like it almost excludes newcomers when you watch it for the first time. You're like, what the fuck are they talking about? But then like as you watch it more and more, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. It's kind of like Chris D'Elia's podcast. Like the more you understand the slang, you're like, okay, I get it now. But yeah, anyways, we got to figure out some stuff for Wheels2Walking.
We got to get clever with that, yeah.
I think it'll come organically. We've already got some stuff.
All right, have a good time.
That's more just me chopping that out. Yeah, this is Richard. But the truth is? Yeah, it's this, and also, well, really, it's yes and no.
I was thinking about that when we're going to do the next AMA video. When people are like, are you sad that you got hurt? And I'll be like, yes and no. I'm going to have
the answer is yes and no.
I'm going to have to stop answering like yes and no. I'm going to be like, well.
I mean, you can say yes and no. It's just funny because it's totally true. Yeah. It's like because nothing's just black and white. Mm-hmm. But we'll have to come up with like slang for yes and no. Be like, well, it's apples and oranges, you know, or like, it's a little bit of peanut butter and jelly.
That's a great idea for merch. To be like,
yes and no.
Have a good time, or be like, but the truth is.
Oh, you know those ones
like my stupid face, like, but the truth is.
You know those shirts that are like blank and blank and blank and blank and blank. It's like a shirt and it just has all the little like things. Like I remember Epic Mealtime had like bacon strips and bacon strips and bacon strips and bacon strips, or like
Oh, yeah.
there'll be shirts that are like Amsterdam and Paris and Milan and blah 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 or whatever. And it's just a bunch of things. It could be like yes and no and the truth is and
have a good time.
Have a good time and like all the different Wheels to Walking slogans.
All the Richardisms.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. And Akbar. Hey guy, turn off your car alarm.
Now there's 2 going because some other idiot pressed a button thinking it was his
Oh my gosh.
to turn it off, and then he turned it on because that's just what people do.
Yeah, dude. Side note, car alarms don't work.
They haven't worked since 2005. When I hear a car alarm, I don't think, ooh, better go out and check. There might be a burglar. I think, hey, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, who's the idiot that pressed the button in their pocket?
You're like, what? Someone turn that goddamn thing off.
Yeah, literally.
I'll call the police not because I think there's a burglar, but because I'm mad and that there's too much noise. I'm trying to sleep and there's too much noise.
You literally look out the window and there's people breaking into every car and you're like, God damn it, the noise. You're not even mad about people breaking in. It's your car, but you're just mad about the noise.
That would be me.
Yeah. Richard also hates annoying noises.
Do I? Yes.
Yeah, like Bernie Sanders.
God damn it, stop it.
Hurting me in the future.
Yeah.
Hello, future AJ. Dude, we got to talk about your trip now.
Okay, yes.
We've been talking about
Wheels to Walking
stuff for
That's
the last...
true. This is the Wheels to Walking podcast, after all.
Well, on the Andrew Deitch stage.
Yeah, it's funny because we do this weekly, but a lot of people that listen to my show don't know that.
Yeah, they don't know that. So if you're enjoying this candor, go on to...
Patreon.com/Wheels2Walking, and you can pay $1 and do this every week.
that.
Anyways, but you're getting bonus content because we normally go about an hour and we're going longer. So my trip. So me and my bro, we were taking our yearly pilgrimage to Tomorrowland in Belgium.
When people ask where you go, I never know. They're like, oh, where did you go? I'm like, he went somewhere for a music festival.
He went Europe.
I was like, he went.
Yeah, because
somewhere.
that's the thing is I always like forget that taking a 3-week trip is a lot of time. Because to me, that's like kind of my average for a trip. Like I normally take like big trips.
I mean, you don't take weekends for like 3 months straight, and then you're like, time to make up for all those weekends.
Yeah, I just work and work and work, and then I'm like, okay, peace out for a while. Like that's just kind of how I do it. And the funny thing is, I was actually working like a decent bit on the trip. Like I mean, I was editing and stuff. Like I was working more than like people are like, you're on vacation. I'm like, yeah, but like my life is like I can do whatever I want, and like I'm working.
You're like, my life kind of is a vacation, but just let me do what I want to do.
Like I work for myself, so like I can vacation when I want, and I can work when I want, and like I need to work right now still, like a little bit.
Was it like those girls that were like, you're on vacation, don't work, and you're like, leave me alone, Lindsay.
Yeah, I'm like I literally have to do this. Like they're like, well, how mad is he gonna be if it's late? I'm like, mad.
Blood red mad.
He's gonna be BRM. No, you have no idea how many times they're like, it can wait. Like how much of a like you're on a trip, he'll understand. I'm like, no.
You're like, he doesn't take a break.
See,
I don't take a break.
See what
no
you
one takes a break.
See what you don't understand is they've been late a lot.
So I kind of can't fuck up on this trip.
Hey, I understand we're in Barcelona, but I've been here before, so you guys do your thing, and I'll meet up with you when I'm done. Like I need to do this, regardless of what you want me to do. Like, sorry. Yeah. How mad will he be? Mad.
Love this shit. So if you're enjoying this podcast, please come over to Patreon.com/Wheels2Walking. Thank you.
Oh man, that was funny. But anyways, so so we're taking our trip to it was I always forget her name. Allie, the girl that we did the freaking video with the spices, hot ones. Abby, fuck. I always mess up her name.
Was she here?
Abby.
Was she there?
She was downstairs a couple of days ago, And she was like, hey, how you been? And I was like, oh, I just got back from a trip. And she's like, where'd you go? And I'm like, ooh, Belgium, Amsterdam, Germany, France, Spain. Am I forgetting anywhere? And she's once you kind of do that, people are like, oh. Okay, stop talking. I feel bad now. Like they're like,
where'd you go? And you're like, everywhere.
Yeah. Europe. And we're like, oh, where? Europe.
There's this TV show I used to watch called Trailer Park Boys. And
Yeah.
There's this character called J-Rock, and at one point, J-Rock and his like little hoodlum friends decide to have a scheme of stealing luggage from the airport and then putting it in their trailer and making a store.
Oh gosh.
And he's like, why don't y'all come on in and check everything out? It's all from Europe.
Europe.
He's like, it's all from Europe.
Europe. That's amazing. Yeah, I remember when I like first traveled abroad and I wanted to go to Europe, but I didn't really know where. And I was always like, yeah, I'm going to be an au pair in Europe. And people are like, oh, where? I'm like, I don't know, Europe. Like, it's all the same to me. I've never been there, so I don't know. Like, yeah. But it is cool. But yeah, it was, I didn't go to anywhere that I hadn't been before as far as country-wise. I did go to new cities on this trip, but like, as far as country-wise, I didn't add any more to my passport, unfortunately. But
I got 2 more weeks 3 weeks for my passport to come in the mail.
Yeah, and then we going traveling, mofo.
Going to Canada.
Yeah, we're going to Canada, maybe Mexico, maybe Brazil.
Yeah. Yo, side note.
Dude, also I saw so many wheelie boys while I was out.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's because you're noticing them now.
But no, like I asked Matthew, I'm like, yo, is it just me or are there like hella wheelie boys out here? And he's like, no, like there's a lot.
Like all over Europe? Or like
yeah, but specifically in where were we? We were liming, like we had the little scooters and we were liming around like Berlin had a ton.
Berlin's Germany, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit ton of motherfuckers in Germany.
Yeah, a lot.
They got great healthcare and medical care.
Yeah.
That's literally what I just said.
Yeah, also a lot. Great healthcare and medical care. Also great doctor care as well.
What I meant to say is they got like healthcare technologies, like shit like that.
Yeah, good medicine science.
Yeah.
Watch the video. Anyways, but yeah, like lots of wheelchair users, and I was trying to think. Also, there's another city that we were in that had a lot. Brussels had a lot. Interestingly.
Where's Brussels?
Belgium, capital of Belgium. It's also where the EU is headquartered. So like all the meetings of like the European Union are in Brussels.
I feel like
which is
Belgium is another one of those.
Yeah.
Like
all of the EU has universal healthcare. It's like literally.
Well, not only that, but I mean like even how it's like they're like newer cities that are like kind of accessible, like especially a lot of German cities because everything got fucking destroyed in World War II. So like they built it up. Like to be pretty
and
accessible
also
and
everything
decent weather throughout the year.
Yeah, and not only that, but everything is highly engineered, especially in Germany, Belgium.
Exactly. So
like,
a lot of the technology is
Oh yeah. And it's man, like I really envy their public transportation system so much. And it's not even just the major cities; it's like every
like even the little
city.
like rinky-dinky type places. Like
some of them are small, but at least they have a train station that can take you wherever you want to go.
It's like let's just hop on the train and go. And
yeah.
I remember one person. He told me he was stationed in Germany, some branch. I don't remember what it was, but he worked a Monday through Thursday, and he said Friday they'd jump on the train.
And just go.
And just get hammered until they showed up at wherever they decided to show up.
Yeah.
They're like, we just take train rides wherever we wanted to go. And
totally.
And he's like, we'd get smashed until about Sunday afternoon, and then we'd jump on the train and fall asleep on the train on the way home and be good to go.
Yeah,
like,
trains are awesome.
That sounds horrible, but
no, trains are awesome, man. They can get annoying because like we took a lot of trains. So me and my brother, we got this thing called the Eurail Pass, which is a you can get it for as many days as you want, but we got the 7-day pass. So what it does is you have this little piece of paper that you write on it. There's like 7 slots for dates. And so you write on the date of when you want to take the train. And then for that whole day, you can just take as many unlimited trains as you want.
So you get 7 days unlimited.
Unlimited train travel, which is cool.
But you get to pick those 7 days.
Yeah, but you get to pick this. It doesn't have to be consecutive.
Right.
So over the whole summer, like once you start it, I think you have like 90 days to like finish it or whatever. So it's whatever. So like you hop on the train and then like whoever's checking the tickets has like a little stamp thing and they like stamp it to like officialize it that like, okay, this is your official day. It started now or whatever. And then you have like a little passport thing at the bottom where you write, okay, so on this day I'm going from this city to this city or this city to this city or whatever. And you have a little like journal almost of like where you went. And so we did not plan this trip at all.
Didn't you tell me that when you landed, you were like, ah, shit, where are we going now?
Literally, we were on the plane to Belgium. So we were mainly going for Tomorrowland. And we had a vague idea of what we were going to do, but we weren't 100%. And we landed in Belgium.
Because you went to see your friend in France. That was one of the things you...
One of the things we were going to visit our friend in France. One of the things is we needed to get to Barcelona because we had a party flight from Barcelona to the festival.
Party flight? That sounds...
Literally a party flight.
That sounds both awful and amazing at the same time.
Yeah, it was amazing because if it was like an overnight flight, that would suck. But it was only like a 1.5 hour flight. So like... For like 30 minutes of it, they like turned the lights off and we all had like little light up things and they played music over the speakers that sounded like ass.
So like LA to Vegas type of flight.
Yeah, a little bit longer than that, but like it was Barcelona to Belgium, so it was like we just had to cross over France. That was it. And France is surprisingly big. Like it's not small, but it's decently big.
Did you see the Eiffel Tower from the plane?
No, but we did go to Paris.
I was joking.
Yeah, I didn't look out the window. We had the windows down because we were having a party. It was dark.
I just said that because every American thinks that like
you can see shit.
That you can see the Eiffel Tower. Like,
it's so cute.
It's just like in movies, American movies, if they're ever in like France anywhere,
yeah,
it always shows the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Or if they're in Paris, it always shows it. It's like
you can't see it from everywhere.
You can't see it from everywhere.
Yeah, even when you're right up on it, you still can't see it sometimes because there's buildings.
Yeah.
So it was so cute. On literally the last day we were in Belgium, we went to this cool structure called Atomium, which is actually really cool. It was a structure built for the World Fair in like 1954 or something like that, and it was built. It's a 1 to like 150 billion size scale model of a steel crystal or something like that. And so basically,
what's a steel crystal?
Like imagine like a grouping of atoms that like makes up steel or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So it's literally an atomic structure that's blown up massively.
And it's made of steel.
I think originally it was made of aluminum actually or something, which is funny. Part of it. But it was to symbolize the power of nuclear power in a peaceful way. That was what it was supposed to symbolize in 1954.
Because pre-Chernobyl and like...
Because nuclear power, people thought it was like evil, but this was like to symbolize that like, nuclear power can be used for good.
Nuclear power wasn't evil until
we dropped bombs.
Until we dropped bombs and Chernobyl
Until we dropped bombs!
And Chernobyl happened. Before that, nuclear power plant was how... you could show the superior power of your country.
Totally.
You like that's one of the reasons why the Soviets tried to hide Chernobyl so much is because they didn't want to publicly admit fault of their superior nuclear.
Yeah.
Their nuclear fission reactors.
Yeah. But the cool thing is you can actually go up inside of it. So like it's basically imagine like in a little atom, you've got these little balls, like we've all seen the atomic structures. So each ball is an atom. And they're all connected by like rods. Mm-hmm. And inside of each ball, there's 2 levels. One is like a maintenance level and one's like a level that you can actually go on. And then it also has like windows inside of it. So you can see out of it. And then each of the little rods.
Is it tall?
It's 90 meters, I think.
That's pretty good.
Wait. Maybe it's 90 feet. It's decently tall, but like, when you're up there, you can see like a decent view, but it's kind of on the outskirts of the city. So it's not like you can see like everything. It's cool, but it's not like, whoa, I can see my house from here. But the reason why I literally brought this up now, because this was the end of our trip, was this little girl. I heard her ask her dad if she could see the Eiffel Tower from here. And it was so cute because she was like, Tour Eiffel, which is like, Tour Eiffel is like Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, the Tour Eiffel. And it's like nah, sweetie, that's like another building. Like, that's not the Eiffel Tower. Like, you could tell that she was like, can I see the Eiffel Tower from here? And I'm like, that is so adorable. That's cute. Like, we are so far away. We are literally hours away.
You're so far away.
Yeah. You couldn't even see it from a plane. But anyways, that was really cool because they had all this memorabilia inside. When you go in, they talk about like the World's Fair of the time. And it's really cool because the World's Fair
World's Fair. I don't think it still happens.
It's like the it's like the World Expo. It's kind of like the Olympics. It happens every 4 years, but they've changed it now, and it's called Expo. And every year it has a different theme. So I actually went to it when it was in Milan, and that year the theme was food, which was cool because so what happens is it goes for like months at a time. It's like April to October.
It used to be one of these things that was
It was technology mostly.
Yeah, it was like inventions.
Yeah.
It was like, at the World's Fair in 1922, Heisenberg brought us the hot air balloon. And the World's Fair,
everyone was amazed.
1927, Edison brought us the light bulb. And
yeah, literally, that's what they like talked about at the in the exhibit. They talked about like what was presented there, and it's cool because like they built this structure actually just for the World's Fair, and it was supposed to actually come down after the fair. Like the fair was over, and it was like part of the exhibit because they build all these structures that are like massive, almost permanent buildings, and then they take them down. Yeah. Kind of like Tomorrowland. Like it's it's a couple weekends when they build all these massive stages, and then it's done because it's done. But the people in the city loved it so much, they thought it was so cool. They were like, no, keep it. So they kept it until now, awesome. Which is cool. And they actually renovated it in like 2006, and it like finished in 2009, and they actually replated it all. So now it's like way more chrome, and it looks more badass. And they added like LEDs, so at night it like lights up and stuff. It's really cool.
And you can climb up ladders into the little...
Yeah, so there's, I think, 9 total balls in it, but some of them are inaccessible because for safety reasons, they're not, like, supported fully. Mm-hmm. Like, some of them have, like, struts on the bottom, so they're, like, supported by the ground. And then some of them are, like, kind of, like, jutting off, like, towards the top. So it's like, nah, we ain't gonna put people up there. It's a little too dangerous.
That's sketchy, yeah.
And originally, in the original designs, they didn't even want to put struts on the bottom ones, but it could only survive up to 50-mile-an-hour winds, and Belgium was known to sometimes, or maybe it was kilometers per hour, whatever. It was like it could support up to 50, but Belgium was known sometimes to have up to 90. So it was like, yeah, we got to put struts. So, anyways,
how does Belgium get that much wind?
I don't know. I think it's 90 kilometers per hour, not miles.
That's still pretty fast. That's like 45 miles an hour.
Maybe in a storm. I don't know. Either way. There's weird things that happen in Spain sometimes where you get this weird wind called, it's the name of the new Maserati actually, the Maserati SUV. I can't remember the name of it. It's the Levante. And Levante is like the word for lift in Spanish. And what Levante is, it's a wind that takes the sand from the deserts of Africa and literally picks it up and literally dumps it in Spain. So like literally you get these wind storms where literally you go outside and you're being pelted by sand that comes from the Sahara Desert.
Weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like literally you'll be at the beach and you can't even enjoy yourself because you're being pelted by sand wind. That's not from the beach that you're on that's made of sand.
Ouch.
It's coming from the sky.
No thanks.
Yeah, and you can see it because you can like look out and the sky is like orange because there's sand coming down.
So it's like a sandstorm.
Yeah, and it's nuts. And sometimes even the rain. But sometimes even the rain would have sand in it. Because it was like mixed with the precipitation. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. But anyways, that wasn't what's happening in Belgium, but it happened sometimes in Spain. But the funny thing though about, so like it was really cool because at the expo that I went to in Milan, every country that's represented there has a little booth almost that they actually build like a building because it's there for months. It's there from like April to October.
Yeah, you said it was there for like 6 months.
Yeah, so and the same thing with this atomium thing. So they build these massive things because it's a showcase to the world. And for a lot of people, world travel wasn't as accessible back then. So you could get really cultured in like an afternoon.
Yeah, you brought things to you, yeah.
And so you literally go to each little station and you could see, different things from each country. And every country was trying to impress the world. Kind of like at the Olympics, it's like a representation of your country. And so people would travel, all around to go to this World's Fair thing so that they could see what was going on in all the other parts of the world, and what was the coolest technology coming out of here, what was coming out of here. And when I went to it with the food, it was actually really dope because it was like, not only was it like agriculture stuff, but you actually got to try food from around the world, which is amazing. So that was what was really cool for me. And they always have food stuff because like you go to this expo, they're gonna sell food there, but it was like especially about food. So it was cool.
So it's themed now. It's not just like, come one, come all, bring everything. It's like, this year we're doing technologies. This year we're doing electronics. This year's we're doing automotives. Like this year we're doing foods.
Yeah, I think the next one's in Dubai, which is cool. Because I think also the Olympics is in Dubai next, I think.
Tokyo.
Is it?
2020 is Tokyo.
Is Dubai the World Cup? I think Dubai got something.
Qatar, near Dubai,
is
World Cup.
Really?
Yeah, but there's a lot of controversy around that.
What's Qatar? Is that a country?
Yeah, Qutar.
Oh, Qatar.
Yeah.
Qatar.
I've heard people call it Qatar.
Yeah, it's called Qatar. There's an airline called Qatar Airways, and it's like bougie. It's like the most bougie.
More than Emirates?
Yeah, it's like a little step above Emirates.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they're both are top notch, but Qatar is like.
Yeah, there's a lot of
crazy.
A lot of controversy around it because they brought in a lot of Malaysian slave labor, where they'd bring they'd bring in the Malaysians and take their passports, and basically be like, we'll give your passports back when you're done, and like make them stay in these like really terrible camps and like work in like the like 120 Fahrenheit, so like 60 degrees Celsius weather.
It's ridiculous. When we were in Belgium, they had the hottest day in Belgian recorded history. When we were there, 107 was the high.
Shit.
And people were geeking about that. That's like 42 Celsius. And like in Qatar and Dubai, they get like 120. So that's like 60 Celsius. It's insane.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah, I met this Uber driver from Pakistan, and he was like, it's very hot here, but not as hot as in my country. Like, he's like, it is hot here, but not as hot as I am.
Like,
here.
it's hot, but
it is better.
But y'all don't know, so.
Yeah, he was in Stuttgart in Germany, and it was hot, but it wasn't that hot. But yeah, so anyways, to go back to my trip, basically, we landed in Belgium, had no idea what we were doing, but a bunch of our friends, so Tomorrowland is 2 weekends, so a bunch of my friends were going weekend 1, and they were all like in Amsterdam. So we were like, okay, let's take a train up to Amsterdam and spend the night there and do that. And then while we were there, all of them had like fully convinced us to go sneak into Tomorrowland weekend 1. And we were already going to do that,
even though
probably.
You had tickets for weekend.
We had full tickets for weekend 2, but we were like,
those were all the people that you took a picture at that coffee shop with?
yeah, it was like a bar, but yeah, pretty much. It was,
many of you guys.
Yeah, it was so, we basically took over this bar, and it was so funny because a lot of people were flying in. They were taking a Europe trip, and like, you know, oh, we were going to go to Rome first, we're going to go to here first, we're going to go here first, whatever. And then we all meet up in Amsterdam and then like caravan it down to Tomorrowland, basically. Because that's a pretty typical thing. A lot of people go to either Amsterdam or Ibiza before Tomorrowland to like pre-party, basically.
I feel like Ibiza's a different kind of person.
Totally. Yeah, Ibiza is, different type of person than Amsterdam for sure, but they're both like pretty... The thing is Ibiza still has like locals. Same with Amsterdam.
I mean, who would go, right? Like,
yeah, I agree.
So people, it's like, let's go to Amsterdam, man. It's like Amsterdam used to be like the place to go, man, but then they like made mushrooms and LSD illegal, and then like you can only smoke pot in the coffee shops. And it's like, yo, we can do that in America now. Like, we just gotta go. We just go to Colorado. And
the thing about the police in Europe and in Amsterdam in general is, if you're not bothering anyone and no one's making a stink, they don't care. So like you could totally, like, you can smoke openly pretty much anywhere.
Of course.
But if you're smoking around kids or something, and then like a mom complains, and then it's a whole thing. But it's like, it's just not, it's like, just don't smoke around kids.
Yeah, but I guess what I mean is that
but also the whole mushroom thing illegal is like totally a loophole, because truffles are still legal. And what truffles are is, so a mushroom has very specific environmental and like a bunch of different things have to happen for the recipe of a mushroom to actually happen. Mm-hmm. Like the air temperature has to be a certain, it has to be a certain temperature, a certain moisture, blah, blah, blah. And if it's not right, what actually happens is the mushroom actually still grows, but it grows underground like a potato. And it grows into, instead of growing into this thing that emerges,
It grows into itself.
It grows into itself and turns into these weird, like almost like nut-like looking things. It looks like nuts. And so most of the time, if there was truffles growing in the ground, you would have no idea because it's not above ground. There's no signs of anything happening. So it's a fungus that's just growing underground, but there's no way for you to even know that that's there. So in the case of psilocybic mushrooms, literally the truffles and the mushroom are exactly chemically the same. Just one grows underground and one grows above ground and has a cap. So when the law changed and they said, no more psychedelic mushrooms, it somehow didn't apply to truffles. So literally, you can go into so like in Amsterdam, like coffee shops where you buy weed, they have these things called smart shops, is where you can buy psychedelic drugs and other things. And you can go to a smart shop and they sell little vacuum sealed things of psychedelic truffles, and they do the exact same thing as mushrooms.
Interesting.
But they're legal. So it was all a publicity stunt to ban mushrooms, because what was happening is like tourists, like this one tourist like jumped off a bridge or something. Be like, oh, he was probably on mushrooms. It was never even proven that he was on mushrooms. He was probably on something crazy, or he was just actually crazy.
Or he was on like,
or he was suicidal.
Or he was on like SSRIs.
Or he was drunk. Anyone ever thought of that? Like people make up all these stories about people like thinking they can fly and stuff. It's like,
back in the day, I've taken mushrooms and all it made me want to do was watch colorful TV shows.
Right? It's like you just want to like chill in nature and like look at the clouds.
With like happy music. And
So it was all a publicity stunt, and like at the end of the day, the mushroom growers were like, cool, we just like a marijuana grow, it's all indoors and it's all perfectly cultivated with, misters and heat lamps and all that stuff.
Like, cool,
they
we'll
literally do the exact same thing for truffles.
We'll just change the environment, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was like, okay, thanks. Like, it didn't really change much, but perceptually it changed, which is funny. And yeah, so anyways, side note.
So dumb.
Yeah, but so anyways, we went to Amsterdam. We took over this entire bar, and it was funny because, like I said, everyone was flying into all these different locations, and then we were all like, "Yo, meet up at this one bar." And so when someone would arrive, we'd all be like, oh shit, what up? Like we'd all like freak out, and everyone in this bar is like, what is happening? And how are these people still arriving? Like what is going on?
Who are these people?
And we're all just the most random collection of people. Like a lot of Mexican people, like from Dallas, a lot of like random white people from Chicago, like a bunch of couples, like a bunch of single people. Like we're just a random ass mix.
Yeah.
And so like, it's just funny, like a bunch of like white girls from Utah, like it's hilarious. So like,
fucking Utah,
but so we had this one guy named Jose, and when Jose came, all of us started chanting, Jose, 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 and the whole bar starts doing it, but they think we're singing the Olay thing, but we were singing Jose, because Jose just arrived. It was so funny.
That's great, dude.
They loved us in the bar though, because we were still buying drinks and stuff, but it was funny. So anyways, they all convinced us. They're like, bro. And all these Mexican guys from Dallas, they all call each other Big Dog. So they're all...
come on, Big Dog.
They're like, Big Dog, we got you, man. Big Dog. Dude, Big Dog. Don't worry. We'll sneak you in, Big Dog. Like and like when they're texting, they always say BD. Like they're always like, I got you, BD. Like it's a whole thing with them. Like they always say Big Dog to
Dallas
everything.
is Big Dog.
Well, it's not even necessarily Dallas. I think it's just their crew. And it's funny because one of them, Daniel, he's like a big ass dude. He is like officially Big Dog when they're like, where's Big Dog? Like we know we're talking about Daniel, but we also are collectively always call each other Big Dog. Like everyone is Big Dog, but mainly Daniel is Big Dog.
That's
like
funny.
It's so funny.
Yo, so I remember you telling me, I forget when, you were telling me forever ago that this festival is close to impossible to sneak into.
Right? Yeah, it's like a hard one to sneak into.
I remember you were telling me that they've got like security all around, they've got gates, they've got fortresses, they got doors, they got like a check your ticket and then take you to a next level and then check your bags and then take you to a next level to like scan your wristband and like...
Yeah, and like when you scan your wristband, you got to scan out to be able to scan back in too. So like the hard thing is you can't just do pass backs, because it's not like when it goes off on green, it always scans green. It's like once it scans green once, you got to scan out to get it to scan to
you can't just like scan a wristband, throw it over the fence.
Yeah, exactly. So what my friends did for us is we basically did that plan where, so like they went in and we had all of our old Tomorrowland wristbands on too. So it's not like we were just walking in with like naked wrists, like around, because that's a telltale sign. Like they'll catch people that are just walking with nothing, because everyone that's in there has to have on their bracelet at all times. So it's like, yo, why don't you have a bracelet on? We've got all these old bracelets, and a lot of the security don't know the difference because they all look pretty similar from the past years. They're all like leather, and they all have the little Tomorrowland logo. And then based on what package you have, they can be different colors. So it's not like like it's more about like the design and random little things where you can tell which year it's from. So all of the security have a legit band in their pocket, and they just cross-reference it. So they'll look at your wrist and be like, does this match the style of this year? Yes. But the thing is if you're wearing all these old bands from the years before, like they're not gonna really second guess you if you're just walking around the festival. They're not gonna like question you or anything. So once we got in the festival and we didn't have a legit band on, it would have been fine if we just had all of our old bands on. So we knew that. So when we got in the festival, so we walk up to the gate and let our friends completely go in. And what they did is two of the guys took two other people's wristbands off of them and came out with them. And what they did was they scanned their wristband out, and then they had one in their hand, and they like pushed it up against the sensor too to scan out the extra wristband too. So they double scanned out for us. So they were freaking clutch for that. Because if they wouldn't have double scanned out, it could have been bad for us. Because we would have scanned red, and then it would have been like, oh, come over here. And then it'd be like, oh, who's this wristband registered to? They can pull up the number on the back and see who it's registered to. And they're like, oh, you're not this person, blah, blah, blah. So it's a whole thing.
Sounds like a pain.
Yeah, but it worked because we only needed to do it. If we were doing it for the whole weekend, it would have been so much of a pain, but we only did it for one day, so it was fine. So we only had to do it once.
Oh, you didn't have to go through that charade every day.
No, exactly. But we did do that the night before to get into the camping area, because what we did was we got there on Saturday night, camped with them on Saturday night, and then Sunday night we just left. So we camped with them the night before, and dude, I think about it now, I'm like so lucky to have so many friends that go to this festival, because like, think about showing up to a camping festival with no tent. Like we didn't have a tent, because the next weekend that we had bands for, we were in like special accommodations. So it was like, we didn't have a tent. So like my friend Casper like had an extra spot in his tent. Matthew had one of our other buddies that we met, his name is Matt from Chicago. Matthew slept in his tent. So we had like a place to stay. And it was legit. So if we didn't have homies that helped us, it would have been impossible to sneak in there. Like it's very, very, very hard unless you just straight up bum rush the gates and like hope that the security doesn't tackle you. But they are really, really strict with that. So like when you go up to scan your bracelet, they have a person standing in front of you, like with like the little gates are like this, and they're holding the sides of the gates to block you. So if you try to like bum rush them, you're bum rushing like a checker, but then there's also security all standing behind, and there's dogs too. So it's like you are gonna have to get through like 3 layers of people to sneak in.
Jesus.
If you're just trying to bum rush. So you're gonna get screwed. And there was like a report that came out after Tomorrowland of like how many drug busts and how many people, like 30 or 60 people or something like that were arrested for sneaking into the festival without a band on. So we were like, damn, I didn't know you could get arrested for just trying to sneak into the festival. But I guess they're like private property. I don't know. But
I think it's one of those things where it's like if you
and the police are totally intertwined with the whole festival.
But if you get caught and it's like, oh, my bad, all right, see you later, guys, bye, and then you just leave, that's different than being like, no, this is I belong to be here. I'm inside here. Like, this is my wristband. Look, it's like if you start a fight.
Yeah,
it's like in public if we're shooting and anyone's like, hey, you guys can't be here. It's like, okay, sorry, bye, and we leave.
Exactly.
Versus be like, well, why can't we be here?
Yeah.
Where's the law that says we can't? It's like, just fucking know your battles. Get out of here. Scram,
yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, and so, but the funny thing is once you're inside the festival, the only way to pay for anything is with the bracelet. And what they have is since literally there's more countries represented at Tomorrowland than the Olympics, so there's people from all over the world. It's amazing.
So you have to like hit your buddy up and be like, hey, buy me water, I'm dying.
Yeah, well, they have water stations for free everywhere, but if we wanted food, if we wanted a drink, if we wanted water, anything, you have to pay with the wristband. And we didn't have any wristbands that would work. So what we would do is our friends, when they convince us to come, they're like, we'll buy all your stuff, man. Just come on, we'll buy your stuff. whatever. But what we would do is there's like top-up stations where you can go and give them your credit card and be like, load 30 pearls on there or whatever. And pearls is the universal currency of Tomorrowland, so that when you're coming there, it's not all in euros or dollars or anything like that, because there's literally people from all over the world. So they have a universal currency of pearls.
Like video games, basically.
Yeah, but the funny thing about that is pearls have a very high exchange rate. So like one pearl is basically $2.
But not a lot of people know that.
Actually, I think a pearl is more like 2.5.
So it's like, try this water bottle. It's only 3.5 pearls. And
You're like, it's only 3 pearls. And you're like, that's like $20. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's like $10. Yeah. So it's like, oh, dang, what's that food you got? Oh, it's this. Oh, it's 15 pearls. That's not that bad. 15 pearls is like $30, you know? But the food there is really, really good. And drinks, everything is amazing at Tomorrowland. But anyways, so we just like would top up our friends. Like he'd give us our bracelet and be like, go top me up. So we'd like go give him our credit card and we'd load money onto their bracelet and then go get stuff with the bracelet. So it all worked out. It was fun. Super fun. But the worst part about that was, so Tomorrowland ends on a Monday, right? Like Sunday's the last day and then you wake up in Dreamville on Monday. And that's the camping area. It's called Dreamville. And then the next weekend starts on Thursday. You arrive on Thursday for camping. But we had this like global journey package from Barcelona back to Brussels, which was our party flight. And normally we would have been like, skip the flight. But our friends from America were meeting us in Barcelona who also had the party package. And then if you want the shuttle, you have to arrive at your port of Global Journey to pick up these bracelets.
So you were already there.
So we're literally already at the festival.
And you had to fly back so that you could catch the plane to fly you there, to get the shuttle, to take you to pick up the wristbands, to get you to your to get to your housing.
Dumbest logistical trip of all time, bro.
So like 3.5 days of just like flying around
so
all over the place.
Here's the kicker, bro. Here's the kicker. We arrive to Brussels on, we arrived to Brussels on a Wednesday, I think. So it was the day we were launching the video.
Uh-huh.
We arrived to Brussels on Wednesday, which is the day that all the Global Journey people are flying in for weekend one. But we're not going to weekend one. So when we arrive to the airport, there's all these Tomorrowland things everywhere. Follow me to the shuttle, follow me here, blah, 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 blah. We're not going there, though. That was the day we were like, we don't know what we're doing. Let's go to Amsterdam.
Right.
So we flew into Brussels, coincidentally. That's where we flew into. Then we go up to Amsterdam to visit our friends. They all go to the festival. We have to take a train back down to Brussels, then a train to France, where we visit our friend in France. Oh yeah, we're going to go sneak into the festival. So where do we go? Back up to Brussels on a train, sneak into the festival, do all that stuff. Then we got to get to Barcelona. We weren't about to buy last minute plane tickets because those are going to be expensive because we have this Eurail pass thing. But in order to get to Barcelona in a timely manner that doesn't completely waste an entire day, we decide to take a bus at 2 a.m. after the festival on Sunday, after we've literally been on our feet all day long, and walk to the Boom train station. That day, we literally walked like over 50 miles.
Did you have your little Fitbit?
On my phone, it like tracks it. And then half of it was like with our gear on our backs because we were walking back.
That's such a...
I felt like an army ranger, bro. And the worst part is we couldn't take any breaks because we were on a severe time crunch to catch the train. Because if we didn't catch that one train, then we'd miss our next connection, and we'd miss our next connection, and then we'd miss our next connection, and then we'd miss our next connection. We literally had like 5 or 6 connections that day to get to Barcelona. It was stupid.
So my question is this. The party bus that left, or party plane that left from Barcelona, where does that fly to?
Brussels.
Right? Okay.
Back to the place that we've already been 3 times.
Couldn't you just have met them as soon as they got off the plane?
Yes and no. Because, yes, we could have. But number one, we already had an Airbnb in Barcelona that we'd already like paid for with them. And we wanted to hang out with them in Barcelona because we had like a couple of days already there. So what are we going to do just dicking around in Brussels for a couple of days? You know, I don't know. It's fine. But the thing is, so when you take these party flights, so these global journey packages, what happens is you take the flight from Barcelona to Brussels, and then in the baggage claim area is where they hand you your global journey packet, which includes your shuttle to the festival,
And you
it
could've not just been there,
includes
but,
like all your information that you
Like
need, and all this stuff.
showed up and thrown your bags on the carousel and just been like,
You can't even go into that area.
oh fuck.
You know, like when in the airport, that's like a security area. You can't go to baggage claim. Once you get your bags and exit, it's like there is that point of no return.
Oh, Atlanta's not like that. Atlanta,
Yeah, it is.
No, Atlanta, you can pick up bags. Any
Oh
random.
yeah, you're right.
Any random jack off can pick up.
You are right about
your bags,
that. Atlanta is not like that.
LAX was
in
like
the main
that
terminal.
when you and Matthew
Yeah.
picked me up in LAX.
That's true. A lot of American airports are like that. I think it's international flights aren't like that because
Security.
in international ATL, it's not like that.
I've never been to international ATL. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, international terminal ATL is not like that. I think in any international, because you got to go through customs after you pick up your bags, because your bags could have shit in there that you have to claim. So that's what the problem is. So we're going from Spain to Brussels, so it's international. You can't. So we couldn't get into that area anyways, and also we want to go to Barcelona. So anyways, we literally were we had to walk like freaking Army Rangers all day. My feet were dying. I wanted to change my socks so bad, but I was on Google Maps, like literally GPSing like the estimated time. Our train left at 2, and it was estimating that we were gonna arrive at like 1:53 walking. And we were like, dude, we don't even have like a minute. Because also you got to get there, show your ticket, blah, blah, blah. We didn't know if there's going to be complications. We're walking on roads that like there's closures on the roads because of Tomorrowland. Like Google Maps like isn't telling us the right way sometimes because of the road closures. Like it was intense.
You had your own like tense like music playing in the background, like Mission Impossible
Bro,
style.
me and Matthew the whole time were literally like, this sucks. This sucks so bad. This is going to be such a good story, but this sucks.
This sucks so bad.
This sucks. Because not only had we been on our feet all day at the music festival, walking around, Tomorrowland is no joke. You walk a lot. But not
I
only,
hear it's like the size of Disney.
yeah. From one stage to the other, it's like 30 minutes. Yeah.
That's Disney
So,
size, yeah.
so for the video people, this is the festival, right? The train station's all the way down here, and camping is like all the way up here.
And you were at camping.
And we had to go get our stuff at the end of the night at the camping. So we were in the festival all day walking around. So we had to walk from here all the way to camping just to have to walk around the festival now because it's closed all the way to the train station. So we literally had to like zig-zag, and the whole way back is with heavy-ass bags on our back.
Jesus.
It was terrible.
That reminds me of like Boy Scout camping.
Yep.
When they would be like, pack it in,
Pack it in, pack it out. Yeah.
pack it in, pack it out.
Dude, that's why we only do carry-ons, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had big luggage we had to check and we were doing trips like that. No way.
Yeah, I wish that I could get away with smaller carry-on, but my biggest issue is just like my catheters and shit. That takes up the biggest amount of weight. It's like if I didn't have to have like the cats and the lube and
Well,
the,
here's
and
the biggest
wipes and shit.
the biggest thing.
If I just had like one pair of pants, like 4 pairs of socks, 4 underwear, 2 t-shirt, I'd be good to go.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you only bring one pair of shoes. That's the biggest.
Oh, who the fuck wears more than 1 pair of shoes?
You'd be surprised. A lot of people think like, oh, I'm going for 3 weeks. I got to bring like shoes for the gym, and then I got to bring shoes to walk around in. And what if I go out one night and we go to a club? I got to bring my going out shoes. And then also like, what if it rains? Maybe I need to bring some like boots. Like
1 shoes.
people, yeah, you bring 1 pair of shoes. These ones right here, surprisingly cleaned up nice. That's why I love Stan Smiths. People that are travelers, Stan Smiths are my favorite traveling shoes because they are nice enough that you can get in anywhere. You could get into a club wearing these. They're sneakers, but they're like leather sneakers, so like they look nice enough. They're decent. They are leather, so they wipe off. Like if you have any dirt or mud or anything, you can wipe them down. Takes a minute. Got to put some elbow grease. I brought an extra pair of laces because I knew at Tomorrowland my laces were gonna get trashed. So I put fresh laces in.
New fresh laces, yeah.
Yep. And then not only that, they are very comfortable for me because I have a wide foot and they are pretty wide. And they're comfortable enough that I can walk around all day in them. So like literally for 3 weeks, these are the only shoes I had besides flip-flops. You can bring a pair of flip-flops because they barely take up any room.
Yeah.
And it's nice to walk around in, around the hotel or like, if you're camping or whatever, it's nice to just wake up and be able to throw those on. Or at the end of the night, throw them on to go to the bathroom or something. Like flip-flops are the move.
You flippy floppies.
Yeah. Also, if you're sharing, like if you're in a hostel and there's like a sketchy shower, you might want to wear them in the shower. Don't want to get any like warts or shit.
I'm looking at your clock right now. Is that still the time from where you were?
Yeah.
What time is it? Oh, right.
Right now it's midnight. It's 12:30. I'm still pretty jet lagged because not only am I jet lagged, but I played myself super hard because
Did you do a bad nap?
yeah. The day we left, we took a bad nap.
Oh, that was the one I called you.
Yeah.
Because I called, it was like 9 o'clock here, and I was like, I think it's early enough. I'll call. And he's like, it's 3 a.m. here. And I was like, oh, shit.
But I just woke up from a nap.
Yeah,
so I played myself hard. Me and Matthew were like walking around, and it was like 6 p.m. and we're like, dude, we are both like dead. We need to take a nap. Crash at 7 p.m., wake up at 3 a.m. And we're like, oh, this was a mistake. But it worked out great because we were able to like chill. I was able to get some work done. And then we went down and got like an amazing breakfast and then just went to the plane. But anyways, to make a long story short with the whole train thing, we went down to Barcelona, had a good time in Barcelona. I worked a lot in the Airbnb there, but it was nice. We got the video done. That was the Wings for Life video. Bro, dude, AJ. So, you know how we were talking about editing the 360 footage in the the app?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Dude, so like something happened when we were in the wheelchair, when you were on the wheelchair. There's like a flow state thing that gets enabled where it stabilizes everything for you, but it was something weird about the fact that maybe you were already moving when we started the recordings or like something weird. But basically, when you're editing 360 footage, it creates like a sphere, right? And you can pan anywhere. But the thing about it is the poles, like north and south pole, like, you know how when you're looking around at a 360 image, like if you're looking at a 360 video, you can't like pan up and then keep panning that way, like reverse.
Through the pole.
You hit the pole and then you can like spin around the pole and then go back down.
Right.
So what was happening is it was calibrating it where like, for example,
poles were moving all over the
poles
place.
are like here, and then as the video is happening, those poles are like slightly like shifting throughout the video. So let's say I'm trying to change the camera angle from here to like there, it would be like, whoop, like I couldn't just pan. It was like spinning me around a pole. And so it was like literally impossible to edit. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Like I was literally freaking out because I had the footage and I had it on my phone.
You understand my frustration with that.
Yeah.
Wasn't your graphics card fucking up too?
Yeah, so not only that.
I'm not going to lie. When you told me your graphics card was having problems, I was like, okay, Richard, you're not going to get a video next week. And that's okay because this is out of your control. I'm like, I was like, Andrew did nothing wrong here. It's the computer that fucked up. And I doubt that there's a Best Buy that he can pop into real quick and get it fixed.
Yeah,
so
I could have probably figured something out.
I embraced myself. I was like, okay, I will not get a video. And
here's what happened.
Then when you hit me up and you're like, yo, I got it. I was like, oh shit.
Like, cool. Yeah, sorry to freak you out, but like honestly, I was freaking out too.
I mean, it didn't freak me out. It's just like I'm a realist. Like I'm not retarded. Like I understand that technology goes bad sometimes.
Yeah. Dude, so like the thing is,
I'm not gonna be like, well, get on a fucking plane right now and fly to the nearest Best Buy.
Yeah.
I don't care where it is. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is also that's weird is like there's definitely electronic stores and stuff, but even like my laptop is like one of the higher end ones that you could buy.
And you'd have like the wrong.
So not only is it like
wrong keyboard too.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
a different language keyboard.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, I could figure something out if I had to. I was like, I could
get you an external
figure something out.
External NVIDIA, just plug that bitch.
Yeah,
up.
something like that. But the problem was it wasn't even necessarily just the graphics card. It was like Premiere itself was not loading anything as far as like previewing the video. Like I would try to play the video, even if I was switching it from like, okay, don't use the graphics card, use the internal like CPU to like render graphics. It like straight up wasn't working. And I figured it out. It was basically what happens is when Premiere is generating a preview file, it creates all these little files that like live in the cached storage area, and they just like live there, and like they auto delete after a certain amount of time. But the problem is somewhere along the line, one of those preview files got corrupted. And so it was like almost like when like Christmas lights and like one of them breaks and like the whole thing breaks.
Yeah.
That was what was happening. And I couldn't figure out why. And so I was just researching. And on top of that, we are in the middle of Europe's biggest heat wave they've ever had, and nowhere has AC, like barely anywhere. Luckily, this Airbnb did have AC, but it's not that powerful. And so my computer, and normally when I'm editing, I have my computer on a riser so that the fans have a lot of room to breathe, and my computer has a lot more heat sink abilities. Like it can remove a lot of the heat quicker. But the problem is that the fan blades are on the bottom side, and I'm just editing on a table. I don't have anything to raise it up on. And so the problem is my computer is not only is it overheating, but then the graphics card is giving me issues. So I'm like, I don't know if it's throttling itself because it's overheating or if it's like an actual problem. Like I was just trying to figure it out. And then on top of that, I pretty much had the video edited except for this damn 360 footage. But that was a crucial part of the video because we filmed some of the interviews with it.
Yeah, it was crucial.
And then we didn't have very much B-roll besides that. Like we did film some stuff on the GoPro, but honestly the GoPro stuff was like trash compared to the 360. And then like I had some phone stuff, and honestly the phone stuff looked great. But I was like, oh, I'll just film with the GoPro instead of my phone because like GoPro's better. Not. Wish I would have filmed more with my phone. But the 360 footage was like awesome. So what I did was once I got to the Airbnb, there's an external program that you can download for the 360 stuff, and you can turn off the flow state stabilization. And as soon as I did that, what do you know? The poles are in the right place. Everything is great. It was a little bit more shaky, but it didn't matter.
It was manageable.
Because not only was it like manageable, it was awesome. Like it worked as perfectly as planned. And before it was like literally you couldn't do it. Like it was like fucking awful. So anyways, and I actually learned it. I picked it up pretty quickly, and like I was able to do some really cool effects with it. Like I did some like cool globe explosion stuff, but pullouts and stuff. It was really cool. But anyways, yeah, when that was happening, like my friends were like literally, that was when they were like, "Come on, like he'll understand you're having computer problems." I'm like, "No, I gotta fix this." Like, like not only is like he gonna be mad, but like I'm mad.
You're like I won't be able to enjoy anything.
Yeah, like I've gotta fix this. Like if I don't do it now, when am I gonna do it? Like it's due. Like it was already Tuesday, and it's like you know, I gotta do it. Like I gotta do it. So anyways, got it all resolved. It all worked out, luckily. And the video smashed. Like the video did good. All the videos have done good. All the recent ones.
Yeah, the tour of the apartment has 66,000 views, which is twice as many as subscribers as I have. So.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is, so when I was on the plane back from Belgium back home, I was doing like some calculations because we were kind of going over like pricing stuff that we went over yesterday. And I was trying to like figure out like on average how long does it take to make a Wheels2Walking video. Because some of them take a lot longer to shoot, and some of them don't take as long. And I was thinking about it, I'm like,
Shooting time, editing time, combined.
Yeah, and I was taking averages, because like some of them would take like all day. And then some
like
of them,
Carlos' video was like sun up to sundown, dude. It was
literally, that one was heavy duty. Yeah. And then there's a video like the Crippled Crib video, where we shot it
2 hours.
Yeah,
maybe.
A couple hours maybe.
Maybe.
You know what's funny? Heidi was coming over to do the podcast right after or something. Uh-huh. And it was funny because she was in the background of like one shot, and I was like, you know how in cribs, how there's like random people in their house sometimes, and they're kind of like flexing like, oh, we got like shorty over here, she hanging out, blah, blah. I was like, what if I just like low-key put like Heidi in the background of one of these shots?
In some of the B-roll shots?
Yeah, like.
That would have been funny because someone definitely would have been like, yo, that's
not your girlfriend. I know! I low-key like wanted to do that, but I'm like, nah.
Yo, people were messaging me like, hey, how come you and your girlfriend don't live together?
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that, and it's like, hey. And so people were like, mind your business.
Yeah, I literally, that was cracking me up. There was like an 8th, I was like, none of your business. He's like,
it's just a question.
He's like, it's just a question, like, relax. And he's like, well, you don't need to know it. And he's like,
but maybe he wants to tell me.
Maybe,
like,
yeah, it's like, relax.
You're not Richard, so.
It's like, relax.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that I got a few little, like, vigilantes. So when someone's like, not to be mean or anything, but like, how come you can, you know, what happened to you? And someone will in the comments be like, Wheels2Walking.com/subscribe.
Story.
Yeah, someone might be like, yo, you can walk. There was someone, my favorite is when someone finds my channel and then leaves a comment on every single one of my videos where I like stand up and walk. Like, they're like, yo, he can stand, he's faking it, what the hell? Like,
you know what's funny? There's a lot of people, okay, so did you hear about the Twitch streamer?
Yeah.
That stood up? A lot of people were commenting, they're like, yo, I bet Ray is wishing he would have watched this video before he got found out.
No, Ray is a character on Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a Twitch streamer guy that they were talking about too. They were like, wish that guy would have watched this before. I didn't know that the Ray thing was Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, he goes, the coast is clear, Ray. And I was like, no one wants to admit they ate 9 cans of ravioli, which is a quote from that episode.
That's funny.
But
I need to watch that show. People always talk about
It's
it.
a shit show, dude. It's a shit show of a show. The episode of the season always starts with him getting out of jail, and it always ends with him going to jail.
That's funny.
And then the new season is them getting out of jail, and then there's like 8 or 9 episodes, and it ends with him going.
That's
back
like South
to
Park,
jail.
where like every episode Kenny dies, and then he's like randomly back to life in the next one.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Oh my God, the kid Kenny. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, dude. I'm so having some minions in the comments that are just like, someone goes, yo, you can stand and walk, man. This guy's just a big fraud. And someone was like, yo, literally look at his channel.
It's called Wheels2Walking, dumbass. Walking's in the name, dumbass.
Seriously, it's like, take 2 seconds and realize you're hating on a guy's channel that says Wheels2Walking for walking. It's like, bro, that's literally what I'm like.
Yeah. No, but it was cool. It was really cool because like I was editing these videos on like quote unquote vacation, and I'm like, but it was dope because it was in the midst of like the channel blowing up. So it was like everything was so validated, because it's kind of like everyone is like, why are you working so hard on these videos? It's like, yo, because like look.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, you made these and stuff, and like it was cool because like as I was doing stuff. It was so funny. I had like this funny like little heart to heart in like one of my friends' tents where I was like talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Because this one guy I was talking to was like a doctor, and I was like I was talking about it, and I was like talking about the channel and stuff, and they were all like, "Whoa, that's so crazy!" And I'm like, "Dude, like as we were sitting here at this music festival, like all this stuff is like happening. Like it's so cool." But it was just really dope because all this stuff that we've been working so hard for, like finally was panning out, and we were both like on opposite sides of the world. Which is almost like a testament to how we've set this whole thing up.
Intentionally. With
Yeah.
That technically, we don't need each other except for to shoot the videos and the podcasts. It's like, and we could figure out the podcasts, and we could probably even figure out the videos if worst case came to worst case.
Yeah.
But it's like we intentionally did it to be like remote and to have freedom and to be able to do what we want. And like what I appreciated the most about it is that the blow up didn't require any extra work.
Yeah, we were literally just doing the same shit we've been doing.
Because we're just doing what we're doing, and then finally this big old response happens, and it's like, nice. And then we just keep doing what we're doing.
And we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, like my mom hit me up on one of the days. She's like, oh man, Richard, you must be exhausted. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, aren't you just so overwhelmed and exhausted and tired all day? Have you been seeing what's going on with your channels? And I'm like, yeah, but like,
no.
I'm just watching it.
Also, I'm on lithium, so I can't feel anything.
Can't feel feelings right now. So it's like, but I'm like, my day-to-day hasn't changed.
I am exhausted, but it's the lithium, not the views.
The fact that I had a nap and took a Red Bull right before this podcast, and I was like in the corner, like half falling asleep, like yawning a couple of times. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. Also, I'm like sweating like crazy right now. It's hot as fudge in here.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yo,
dude.
okay, so we're right at 2 hours, like exactly.
Yeah, I say let's wrap.
One more story. Yesterday we were at the island, and I was like, yo, you got to tell me the story about this girl later. And you're like, yo, remind me on the podcast. And I'm like, here I am reminding you.
I literally was thinking that a second ago. Okay, so long story short, with my whole trip, went to Tomorrowland weekend 2. It was awesome, but it was a weird Tomorrowland. I'll talk about it more in probably another podcast anyways. But long story short, it was awesome. I'm going to be making an epic like tribute video for like Tomorrowland of like all my years because I've always wanted to make a Tomorrowland video about my experience and like why it's so meaningful to me and all that stuff. That'll be coming soon when I find the fucking time. But anyways, passion projects not a thing.
It's like Spencer's education documentary. He's like, I've been working on it for 2 years now.
Yeah, geez. But anyways, went there. It was awesome. Then we went to Germany and I visited one of my friends that I met a few years ago named Corinna. She's really cool. She lives in Berlin, and the funniest part about Corinna is we met while we were both au pairs in Italy, and on the last night that we were au pairing together, like we were like her family was like leaving the beach, and like I was staying a couple more days, but I was like leaving, and then we were like quote unquote never gonna see each other again.
Well, remember you said I'll see you later, right?
And I was like, well, I guess I'll see you when I visit you in Berlin or something like that. And she was like, you Americans are so optimistic, like. It's never going to happen. Like, we're never going to see each other again, and it's fine. Like, we're never going to see each other again, but it's fine. Like, we didn't know each other, like, a few weeks ago. Like, it's fine. Like, we'll be friends on Facebook and all that, but, like you Americans. And she had lived in America as an exchange student, like, when she was in high school. So she was, like, she's super familiar with American culture, And Germans are like super like realist. Like they're like not so optimistic. Like Americans like by default are just very happy-go-lucky, very optimistic, sugarcoat everything, and like
delusionally optimistic.
Delusionally optimistic. We all think we're living in our own reality show, and Germans are like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like they're like, nah. So, anyways,
no one thinks you're important. Do not post on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who are you posting for?
These are both
your fake internet friends.
I think these are like
that was like a Russian accent. Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, both of us are like.
Yeah. Anyways, but so it was like a mixture of like Arab and like Russian. I don't know. Anyways, so long story short, I have visited Corinna multiple times now, and it and that has not come true. But anyways, so I was hanging out with Corinna, and we were talking about like saunas, and I love the sauna, so I was talking about sauna, blah blah blah. And she was like, yeah, it's just like, it's just nice, but like sometimes you'll, like she said something about like seeing her employer there, and it's like awkward because you're both naked or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, but you're like, I mean, like you're wearing a towel, so like it's not that big. And she's like, no, we're not. And I was like, you don't wear a towel in the sauna? And she's like, no. And I was like, wait, so you're just like buck ass naked? And she's like, yeah, like you're in a sauna. And I'm like, oh, like I guess that makes sense. Like, and you see that in like TV and stuff. But then she drops the bomb that it's a co-ed sauna and everyone's naked. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, you don't have like your saunas aren't men and women together. And I'm like, no. And like not only that, but like if you're just butt naked in the men's sauna, you're weird. Like in all the saunas I've ever been to, it's like you wear a little towel, and if you want to like let it loose a little bit, that's fine. Or maybe even put the towel down, sit on the towel, and then put something over your junk. Like put a towel over it so you're not just like laying out.
Those saunas gotta have so many boners.
So here's the thing though, is like literally what she said is like it's dark in there, and you just like don't look. That's what she said. Like you like glance and you see, but you just like don't look. And I'm like, what?
I found out.
And if you look, you're weird, and people might like even call you out.
Oh, so if you're like
glancing all the time. But the thing is, if you think about it, like if a girl sits down and she has her legs together and she's just sitting on a towel, I mean, you see her boobs, but like you're not like really seeing much down there.
Even when
it's not like she's freaking like spread eagle.
Even when she's standing up, you don't see much. Anyway.
Yeah, and then a guy, you're sitting there, you have your legs kind of whatever, and you're just sitting there, and like. You could avoid dick eye contact if you didn't want to. It's kind of like in the men's locker room. You don't like stare. You can see penises if you want, but like you don't.
I found out that there's some saunas that are meant for bathing too.
What do you mean? Oh, like yeah.
Like
it's actually called
like a bucket.
It's called
a bucket for hot water, and you sit on this bench and you scoop out this ladle.
It's called
and you dump it over top of you, and you just take a shower in the sauna.
Yeah, my friend Risa, she lives in Kyrgyzstan right now as a social worker. She's in the Peace Corps, and I think it's called banyans or something like that, and that's how they bathe. It's like a sauna. And you just like go in there and like sweat it out, and then you dump water on yourself, and you take like bucket baths in this like weird sauna thing. And then like a lot of times you just like air dry. Like you don't even like towel off, you just like air dry. It's crazy. But anyways, they just have like a whole thing about like nudity.
Saunas.
But it's like it's not even that they like call it that. That's just like what a sauna is. You just go to the sauna, and it's just a bunch of dudes and chicks all naked together. And I'm like, in America, that would never fly. And like even kids go in it too and stuff. Like not necessarily like kids go in it because like it's not even really safe for kids. But like if you're like there with your parents, like there's also like little other things there. And like you have to like go, like you go in the sauna and like, mommy, are you almost ready? Like, let's go. Like weird, huh?
Germans be like.
But I don't even think that's just German. Like I think that's like across the board. Like
I gotta hit my friend Sebastian. He's European and travels all over the place, and I gotta ask.
But it's like one of those things that to her she was like, "Oh, your saunas aren't co-ed?" Like, and I was like, "No." And in fact, if you were naked in the co-ed sauna, you'd probably be arrested. Like at Lifetime, they have a co-ed sauna, but like you wear clothes in it, and if you're only wearing a towel, like that's weird. Like you should wear a bathing suit or something. And in there, if you're wearing something, it's weird. Like if you're wearing, bathing suits are not allowed in there. Like you have to be naked. Like it's almost like everyone needs to be on a level playing field.
That's just like cultures, like different things matter to different people. I mean,
and like also like when I was at the beach in Spain, like I'd say like 1 out of every 10 women was topless. But it was always like old ladies. So it was like weird.
Well, I mean, you also got to think about like there's some cultures that spray water on their butt to clean themselves off. You know, that might actually be more preferable. Who knows? I've never.
Dude,
tried it.
I love bidets. Bidets are the bomb. Dude, when I was in Brussels, they had both kinds. They had the hose kind that like a lot of Arab countries use, and then they also had the like sit and like spray kind. It was weird. But yeah, bidet's the move. I think a lot of people right now are doing the whole like wipe thing, like the one wipe Charlies and like wet wipes and stuff. Like everyone's like, oh, I'm on the wipe game, bro. I'm on the wipe game. It's like, yo, Europeans have had this shit figured out for a long ass time, bro. Like they've been bideting it for a while. Like she's like, dude, you're just gonna wipe dried up toilet paper on your ass? You need something wet, bro. And it's like, yeah, they got that figured out a while ago. It's called a bidet.
They have hoses, dog.
Yeah.
They have hoses, big dog.
Yeah, they got hoses, big dog. Yo, big dog. And sometimes it's not even big dog, it's big dog.
BD.
It's like big dog.
Big dog.
Yo, big dog.
Yo, BD.
Hey, yo, big dog. Yo, can I get some of that? Yo, big dog.
Yo, big dog, we trying to wrap this up or what?
Yo, big dog, we trying to get out of here or what?
Yo, BD, I'm trying to pee.
Yo, big dog, I'm trying to catch this next set. This is lame. Yeah, but anyways.
This next set.
Yeah, because it's always music. We're always at music festivals.
Oh, right.
We're always stage hopping. Anyways,
Shit.
so that was the big bomb that I was going to drop, was the fact that, what? And honestly, I was thinking about it. I was like, if I wasn't with Matthew, I might have like gone just to like see. But I feel like it would have been like too weird if like me and Matthew would have been like, dude, what the fuck? Like, but like if you were by yourself, it'd be
What
like.
if you invited
let's
your
go.
friend to go with you?
Corinna?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. She was like, I don't like going because like sometimes you
want to
see.
go to the sauna with me?
She was with her boyfriend too, so it would have been like weird to be like, oh, can you take me to the sauna? And her boyfriend would be like, bitch. Like.
Hey, Corinna's boyfriend, you want to hang out with Matthew for the day?
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that, but it was pretty funny. But yeah, she was like, yeah, I don't like going because sometimes I see my like employer, and I'm like, it's a dude.
You see your boss?
Dude, imagine seeing your boss naked, and him seeing you naked. Like, oh, hi, Corinna. See you at work tomorrow. You're like, I guess I'll die now. Like, that'd be so weird, bro.
Well, hi, Corinna. Those are some nice pubes you got there.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, hi, Mr. Taint. That's a nice taint.
You call him Mr. Taint on accident, like at work the next day, like, hi, Mr. Taint Jones. Fuck. I'll leave. I guess I'll die now. I'm fired. Bye.
Guess I'll die now. Bye. Yo, I got a post, man. It's like almost 7.
We got to post this Wheels2Walking video. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you're a Patreon subscriber, thanks for being a subscriber. If you're on the Andrew Deitsch podcast right now, go subscribe to Patreon, Wheels2Walking on everything. And just know that, like, secretly, like, I'm also, like, doing this other podcast. So if you like what we're doing over here, go on Patreon.
Well, it's not a secret anymore. There's no secret. Well,
Yeah, but it's behind a paywall.
It's no secret for these folks.
Exactly. But
It's
to,
secret,
like,
secret to everybody else.
yeah. But one last thing that I was going to say.
Yes.
It's funny. I posted on my Instagram stories while I was gone, but I didn't post anything on my grid. And I like didn't even post as much as I normally would on trips and stuff. And one of my friends, I ran to him at the gym, and he's like, "How you been, man?" I was like, "Oh, I just got back from a trip." And he's like, "Oh, where were you?" And I like said, I was like, "Oh, I was gone for 3 weeks. I went to Europe." He's like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't even know." And I'm like, "Dude, like you shouldn't be sorry that you didn't know. Like I'm not offended like that you didn't know that I went on a big trip. Like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I haven't been on Instagram or anything." I'm like, "Dude, like don't worry.
Like, I
You
wasn't
don't-
either.
You don't have to catch up on anything. Like I don't know what you've been up to either. Like doesn't matter. That's why we're like talking."
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Boom. There you have it, guys. Thanks again to Richard for joining me on this episode. If you enjoyed this one, please make sure you check out the other 2 episodes Richard and I have recorded on my show. That was episode 47, where he actually shared his story to the public for the very first time. And recently he was on episode 113 as well, where we were talking about launching the Wheels2Walking YouTube channel and everything. Also, for $1, you can listen to a brand new show just like this one every single week on the Wheels2Walking podcast. It's only $1, and you support the mission of Wheels2Walking, which is amazing. And if you want to support this show, you can take a screenshot on the app that you're listening to, post it on Instagram, post it on your story, post it on Facebook. Sharing it is one of the best ways you can support the show. Also, if you want to follow me, you can go to my website, andrewdeitsch.com. You can find all the links to my social media handles and accounts. That is all I've got. Thank you guys again for listening, especially all you loyal peeps who listen every single week. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys next week.
hi, Mr. Taint. That's a nice taint.